Hello, hello! Tactical Lich here, and welcome to another midweek battles for the Total Warhammer tournament battles. And yeah, today we are playing as the Dark Elves. This is a faction I don't usually touch because it's kind of been in the meta for a while, but yeah, today we're gonna play with them a bit and just trying out certain units that I've been wanting to play for a while now. I just didn't really have the chance to do it, but yeah, today we are playing against the Demons of Chaos in round 1 against Boina Roja from the MTK clan. Yeah, he's been in the definitely in a player in the community for quite a while now, and yeah, haven't played against him that much. But yeah, good to see him again. Yeah, let's see what happens here. Yeah, I'm just gonna go and start figuring out my build. Demons of Chaos, which means we're probably gonna have to deal with should I just go low-key Felhat? Yeah, I don't want to go too meta today, so yeah, let's just play something more on the meme side. We still need Koa Knights though. They're the strongest, most cost-efficient cavalry we'll ever get. So yeah, what else? Let's just drop some Bloodwreck Medusa in there, because why the fuck not? And what else should I go for? And I need a Burning Head frontline, actually. Yeah, let me just grab something with a Burning Head. You know what? Let's just go for Crone Hellebron on... maybe on a Manticore. But, yeah, that's some kind of armor, I guess, better than nothing. We don't need the Self Witch Brew, but I think Gaze of Cain would be neat. If we just need a lot, I mean by a lot I mean a lot, firepower. Spell resistance might be useful in case they start spamming stuff on me. That might Blood Frenzy. Yeah, we'll just do that. Get some. I want to call this the Goth Lady Harem build, but then we do have some guys in here, so we can't do that. Actually, we can. We can definitely get the Goth Lady Harem out. Give me a second. I just need to figure out. Since there's not a lot of, yeah, since there's not gonna be. Oh wait, hold on. Can I bring 5 Witch Elves? Just let me check for the rules. I don't play Dark Elves much, so I'm not exactly familiar with their unit limits. Yes! 5 Witch Elves! Wait, no, we don't have Spellcaster. Okay, never mind. Let's just bring 1 Spellcaster. Yeah. We have 3 rare single entities. Yep, that's fine. And, what else? Let's just grab that so we can spam out some spells faster. Let's just get Lore of Peace, actually. This is like the only meta thing we have in our back pocket here. There we go. There we go. Oh, what am I doing to myself? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Whatever, let's go. I don't care anymore. Any thoughts on Blackhawk Corsairs with handballs in this matchup? I like that idea, actually. I'm just a bit worried about them surviving in front of all the secret cavalry, but then again you have Koan cavalry to protect them, so it should be fine maybe. Nice, no dudes allowed. Yep, that is the Goth Harem build. Yeah. Hello, Siggles. And yeah, Black Corsairs, I like the idea of Black Corsairs with handballs, because they should trade well. They should mitigate the damage from blue and pink horrors with their armor. And they can kite. So you don't even have to fight the demons straight up. Either way, we're fighting the demons straight up, so it doesn't matter for us, I suppose. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not actually familiar with this matchup myself because I don't usually play Dark Elves. I think I just avoided them ever since they became the meta with their Soul Stealer bullshittery. Now that the Soul Stealer doesn't seem to be as impactful in the game, still it's like, yeah, I'm just not gonna... I just haven't been playing with them much, and now I'm one of the purposes of these weekly 20s is that I'm just trying out different factions every week so that I can just have a little bit more understanding of how each faction plays, or like how certain units that I'm interested in how they play. So yeah. But yeah, Black Ark with handballs definitely feels like a very viable option in this matchup, just because the lack of armor across the board for the Demons of Chaos. And they themselves having decent protection. But yeah, I think I really need to make sure these ladies can survive into melee. I've got nothing to kill any cavalry though, so that's a concern. I've got 2 Snick Ladies, but that's about it, and they have less range than Pink Horrors. So yeah, this is gonna be rough. But I do want to go with the Goth Harem build a bit and see what happens. Just because why the fuck not? Yeah. All right, we're ready. So good luck, have fun to my opponent there. Huh. We're ready. We are ready. But yeah, lately I feel like I just haven't been playing Total Warhammer that much. Because I've just been absorbed by other games right now. Not gonna lie. Especially, like, I don't know if everyone knows or plays this, but Claire Obscura is just so good. This game, I don't even knew about this game 2 weeks ago, but then it suddenly came out, and then it just started trending on social media, and seems like everyone and their mother has, like, praises for it. And I was a bit skeptical about the game at the beginning. It literally came out of nowhere in my knowledge. I wasn't even aware of the game at all before that, and suddenly everyone is praising about it on Twitter, on Reddit, and whatnot. So I was skeptical. Like, it sounds like an artificial marketing attempt. For those who don't know, that's a turn-based RPG with a beautiful soundtrack, character design, and a story. Claire Obscure Expedition 33. It's a really, really good RPG game. Like, I haven't played Final Fantasy myself, but a lot of people compared it to, like, the turn-based era of Final Fantasy and say that, hey, there's a great spiritual successor of a JRPG now that nobody is making those outside of Persona and stuff. And I think the developer, one of the lead developers, is like a big fan of Persona, so like you can tell there's a lot of elements in the game that are directly inspired by like JRPG. Some of the designs, like the gameplay design, the art design, art direction, and stuff like that. It's like, it's not directly anime-y. It doesn't look like anime at first glance, but it certainly plays like a JRPG in my opinion. Alright, looks like our opponent is ready, so yeah, good luck, have fun. Alright, we rushing. There's not much to do other than we rush. But yeah, certainly if you have Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass, definitely give it a go, since it's included on there anyways. Like, the music's absolutely amazing. I've just been absorbed in that game for hours every day. I still need to beat it, but yeah, I'm just grinding through it. It's like, I mean, I think there's a way to, I think you can beat it fast. I just need to explore every single bit of the world, and sometimes I try to fight a boss with levels ahead of me, and I just get stuck there because, like, it's possible to win against boss when you're under level, because of how the game works. Like, you don't directly trade damage back and forth. Yes, you can, but like the optimal way is like there's a real-time block dodge and parry system Is our opponent ready? Because I don't...
Slaughter them!
Don't tell me our opponent is... What? Hey, is your internet alright? Yep, looks like their internet is not alright. Let's try again and see what happens here. Yeah, I think my opponent accidentally dropped from the lobby. Yep, alright, let's see if our opponent will come back. I hope they do. I do want to get some games going right now. But yeah. Anyways. Yeah, but other than that, I've been just totally absorbed in the new JRPG game, so like, yeah, that was good. That was good. Like, tactical edge open with the rare DDoS attack open from a long combat. I just need to turn on the lag switch, right? Looks like my opponent sent me a lobby code instead. I can try hop on over. Oh, Argentina. That might explain why there was an internet issue then. All the way from the other side of the world. Alright, let's rebuild our army. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need a Lore of Beasts, cloak, the Darkstar cloak, and just Flock of Doom there. A couple of Sisters of Slaughter, and let's bring in those couple of ladies, because we already loaded in with our build once, so we can't change our build. Manticore, that, and I think the Crisp Blade and something else. Amulet of Darkfire, just because I'm worried whether... Wait, hold on. Huh? I think... What? Did I miss out on some kind of... Okay, I probably just got the Amulet of Darkfire to mitigate spell damage, I think. I don't remember. I was just like picking my build with vibes. But yeah. I just need to beware of the counter DDoS attack now, since I already used up my move. Okay, that's not how it works, but yeah. Yeah, let's try again and see if this time if we have a slightly better luck. Is that a shadow spell? That might be the lore of internet. A 2K special. A 2K magic special here. Wait, did somebody send me a message? I need to turn off my notification somewhere else so that I don't... Alright, let me just turn everything off. Okay, let's see. We loaded in, which is a good sign. The question is, can we stay in? That's the real question, isn't it? Alright, I mean, we don't have much to design our army layout. It's literally just spread out everything and hope for the best. Alright, yeah. I mean, the harpies are gonna die. It's a loss I'm willing to pay. Ready again. I mean, good thing is our battle is gonna be over fast. I don't know, like, it's gonna be win or lose, but it's gonna be over fast for sure, given how glass cannon we are and how glass cannon demons are. Lore of White 2K. Indeed, indeed. The age of DDoS. Lore of lore of internet. Some of you may die, but that is a risk I'm willing to take. Yes, indeed. Well, I mean, these ladies have wings, and I'm not a fury, so you know. I'm not exactly into non-human, you know. All right, looks like our opponent is ready. Let's do it again, and we rush. We charge. All right, we can just fly our harpies towards some of these flyers, and then we can just... Alright, let's just charge. I don't care. Everything just starts charging. It doesn't freaking matter. Oh, wow, okay. We can probably send those in. Oh, alright. Alright, let's just cut everything down while we're at it. Do we need to turn that on? Let's start slicing, I guess.
Eager carnage awaits.
Alright, you know what? Let's just turn everyone on with that, actually. Oh, wow, not turn on per se, but yeah, let's just turn on that for everyone, and oh shit, our front line are not necessarily holding up all in every spot. Alright, we're holding on okay in this, guys. I guess we can just keep moving with these ladies. Yeah, we can start fighting that. Alright, send those guys over, maybe. No! Ouch! It just almost killed everything in there. That's the set times. Alright, let's just go and fight that. Keep fighting that. Oh, okay, that's a big blob of stuff. I'm just gonna start draining, I guess.
Going very well.
Alright. Alright, just keep fighting, I guess. The double Medusa ladies seems to be holding on okay. And we are kind of... And I mean, now we're not exactly winning the air fight, but we're not exactly losing either, so... It's something, I guess. So that's not too bad. Alright, keep running. We only have some infantry left, and they're very tattered, which is not great, all things considered. Keep running! Lady! Run! Alright, can we at least get some of these? Right. Come on! From Helebron, you can do this, I know you can. Oh no, the Medusa is dying. It's not great. And where is the caster? All the way on the other side of the world. Alright, yeah, you can cut down. She's getting escorted off the field, not great. Alright, let's just fight that while Zankron and Helebron to deal with something else.
Glorious destruction. Hey!
Alright, can we at least squeeze in with our rest of our stuff? Oh no! Wait, what happened to you guys here? Alright, we might be able to beat up Daniel. Oh, that's Rat Ogre, never mind.
Queen Helebron. Helebron, ever ready.
Either ways, we are still holding out with a bit hope left. It's not completely out for us. It's not great, but it's not completely over. We still have the balance of power advantage simply because we have the healthier lord. But at the same time, Red Ogre has turned on the relentless rage. Oh no. Alright, maybe we can try to force the crumbling. I don't know, we don't have a lot of troops left on the ground. That is a big problem. And oh my god, what the fuck was that damage coming in from these Seekers? Oh, they're attacking from the rear. No, our Lord is going down. And we're so close yet so far. You're so close yet so far. Oh, the ladies, they try their best. They tried their best. I need like 2 more shots onto Red Ogre, and I like, come on, you can come back. No. And the ladies are fading on the ground. Oh, the Seekers, Flushhounds, they're all too much. I just need something to like snipe out Red Ogre, and then it would be fine. But no, none of my units are coming back. And that is GG. GG to my opponent there. The glass cannon rush is unfortunately, I had this and that rear attack slapped you in the face. Yes, I agree. My opponent played the mobility better than I did. And I divided my troops a little bit too much. Also, well, the Bloodwreck Medusa did okay. I probably should have stayed, I definitely should have kept my air forces together so that they could have fight together in this guise. Like, Crown Hellebrand actually earned back her worth. But I spread out my forces too much. I won the infantry fights easily, but the problem is the mobility got picked apart. And after winning the infantry fight, all these ladies are too whittled down. Say nerf Seekers, please. Yeah, they're quite strong. But yeah, I think it's just mostly I played my mobility game pretty horribly. And the Iridescent Horror sniped out my caster and did a really good job. Yeah, my opponent definitely played better than I am in this game. So yeah, more focus on the mobility and keeping them tight with especially with the support troops. Yeah. Yeah, GG to my opponent there. That is our first round. I think we can just report our scores and or the report of our lack of scoring in this first round, I guess. And we are moving on to the second round with VM Flower playing High Elves. Doc Karaz. I wonder if my opponent Pasha has set up a lobby. Alright, let's go find Pasha. And once again, I think I'm just gonna keep trying with the ladies here. Maybe yeah, I think I'll give Crone Hellebrand another go. She seems to be quite a powerful melee combatant if given the chance to do the damage. But definitely, I feel like Amulet of Dark Fire might not necessarily be the best item for her, so I'm just not gonna use it. Yeah. And it's High Elf, so I might actually just bring Lore of Death. For the Fate of Buna, Spirit Leech. Yeah. I'll just do that, actually. Not much changed. Oh wait, actually, hold on. Hold on, I do need to update my build a bit. Yeah, I can't just use the same build here if it's High Elves. I have to be careful, be wary of Dragon Princes and stuff like that. Yeah, I'll just bring some Court Knights in that case. Oh, looks like my opponent might. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Okay, never mind, actually. Right, let me just go ahead and find Flower, because I totally mixed up my opponent there. Didn't read my opponent's name properly. But still, we're fighting High Elves, regardless. But yeah, that's Seeker Charge onto Corin Halibron. Just nuked out like 25% of her HP in that charge. That was a brutal hit. Alright, looks like our opponent is here. We are fighting High Elves still. Yeah. We are fighting High Elves, which is gonna be rough for our ladies here because of High Elves' arrow fire. But let's see what happens here. Yeah, we will just take these and should I just take like I don't even know what it is anymore, but yeah, I mean, let me think of something else. Maybe we can play with something else instead of just 4 core knights. I feel like that's a bit boring, because everyone just play with max core knights these days. Actually, let's go with High Beastmaster to troll the enemy's mobility. That would be funny. Maybe we can get some solid damage output out. Anyways, let's just pick something else. The rest of our army here, get a few of these, get another. Well, we can keep our Bloodwreck Medusa there just because why the hell not, and get some flyers. And then we're out of funds. Great. Huh, we can probably do that. Just having the sorceress in the sky, pretty safe. No, just Dark Steed. Dark Steed is fine. That, and what else? Not much. We're out of money. Actually, maybe we can afford this. Yeah, probably that. That'll be fine. Alright, let's go and see what happens. I don't even know what's gonna happen at all. And, yeah. Let's just get a battle started. Probably a horrible build against the High Elves, but I just want to play with some Witch Elves. 3 Dread Knights. That is actually quite a meme idea, actually. You know what? I'm not gonna bring 3 Dread Knights, but I do want to bring Knights of the Ebon Claw. I'll do that. How about that? And I still have some funds left, so I will just like spend them all on some random crap, I guess. But yeah, 3 Dread Knights is a little bit too expensive for my build. I don't have any resources left anywhere else, so yeah, no 3 Dread Knights. Actually, let me just get rid of the Bloodwreck Medusa as well, and just grab 3 Bleak Swords. That probably will do it. Just having the Bleak Swords in front and just having the Witch Elves at the back there, and send them in to cut through the enemy front line, I guess. If that even is gonna work, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, the idea is we kill off the mobility with the Tormentor Sword, Fate of Buna, and a bunch of Cold One cavalry, and cut through the infantry with our own infantry. Not sure if it's gonna work or not, but whatever. I just want to play with some Witch Elves. Yeah. They do a lot of damage, and I do like that part about them. Yeah, just gonna wait for our opponent to be ready. Looks like our opponent is ready. Yep, Dokkaras, one of the more I feel like this is one of my more preferred maps to like play some multiplayer, I guess. It's just open, not a lot of terrain in this in the way, so you can play artillery. There's also a little bush and the slope on the side, so if you really need some so you're not completely out in the open either, you can just hide behind the terrain when you're getting shot at. So yeah, it's not too bad. Like you can play a bit of both sides here, both if you want some more open terrain for shooting, or if you want to try and rely on the terrain to hide away your melee troops to do that melee rush. But yeah, I thought that the tournament would start May 11th. No, that was... The tournament has always been a May... this tournament is like a weekly Wednesday tournament, so it always starts at May... it always starts on a Wednesday, British 6 o'clock. Like, it can be summertime and non-summertime, so there might be a 1 hour difference, but mostly it's Wednesday and it starts at like 6 in the UK. It's been like that for, well, this is a 26th Conquest tournament, so that it's been the same in the past 25 events as well. I just had a break for a while because I was traveling and couldn't stream. But other than that, it has mostly stayed the same. You might be thinking about a different tournament. That might be the case here, because I'm definitely not the only tournament organizer in the entire community. So there's a lot of events going on sometimes even every day. But like, yeah, mostly just every week. And the 11th event might be something else that you're, yeah. Might just be some other events. Anyways, we are ready. And we're just gonna keep these harpies behind the trees. Our ladies are ready as well. Ready when you are. Good luck, have fun. Okay, now, we are playing the tournament in the Swiss format, so there's always an issue of what happens if there's like a two-way tie or even a three-way tie. Maybe even four-way if we're unlucky. So I was thinking, like, we already did like the free-for-all thing once, might as well just, if we have a three-way tie or even a four-way tie, we'll just do the free-for-all, and we can just add another player in, just to fill up the requirement for a free-for-all. But yeah. Okay, looks like, yeah. Our opponent is ready. A two-way tie would just be a simple best of one or even best of three between two players. Oh, that's a lot of firepower. I mean, single entity targeted firepower, I guess, but still. Oh no, we're getting kited. That is not good at all. We don't pull those back. Getting whittled down. And they have techless, so that means they have healing. Oh god! Oh god! I forgot, it's the VM clan! They're known to kite! No! I made the mistake! I should have prepared for that. Alright, keep running, keep running, keep running. Oh, out, out! Mistakes were made! How long is the damn net? Oh. Alright, there, off. I guess. We can go there. Alright, that Core Knight is done for, so we can just send the Knights of Ebon Claw in for a bit.
Elves. By your command, cold-blooded killers. On to murder. Carnage awaits. Beastmaster.
All right, let's just fade off. Oh, we can't fade off on that. That's unfortunate.
Red Knights. Roaring minions.
Alright, let's just lock everything down in here so we can start fighting.
Battle call. Elf cry and aha. For the king.
Let's start fighting. Alright, let's start fighting.
Glorious destruction. Advancing. Tarnish up.
I don't think I can kill Tactless here, so I'm just not gonna bother about that. Especially he has like healing and stuff.
Red Knight.
Oh no, the firepower Knights of the Evelyn Core is still fucked.
Eager at once. Death. Heed the lash. Check. Battle calls.
Alright, let's just turn that one on so that they can start fighting hard.
Sense battle. Fury. Kill them. Making ground. Seeking victim.
Alright, I don't have anywhere to use this Winds of Magic on.
Come melee. Wrangler.
Shit.
Bleak swords. Destroy. By your command. On to slaughter. Talak.
Man,
Moving out. Quickly
I got kited to death.
Carnage
It's not great.
Dark elves. Indeed. Bloodlust.
Lock that down so that we can just keep pummeling the lady there. Okay, we still have one whole reserve unit of Koan Knights, and the good news is they're almost out of ammo, so they can't keep kiting. Alright,
Moving out.
should move our troops over and see what happens. Alright, they're back. We killed off that handmaiden. That's fine.
Murder awaits.
Okay, we can bring this guy back. Yeah, just let the big sword eat it, I guess. Doesn't really matter.
Carnage awaits. Onward.
God damn it. This is rough. Maybe try to keep Tactless in place. Yeah, they have used up their one-time super juice anyways.
Merciless warriors. Murder awaits.
Okay, do we have? Yep. Let's just go for that side, intercept that charge, and what is this lady doing? She dropped that fireborn. All right, let's just get those damage done onto the fireborn.
I thirst now. Swiftly.
All right, and maybe drop another spirit leech on them, and so that, and now you can die. Explode. She did. Just making sure those fireborn really are gonna die there. To their last. Oh no, they're getting away. All right, the Fate of Buna is doing the work here.
Very well.
We still have the witch brew in the back pocket, and yeah, we have dealt with the fireborn. I mean, they still have some left.
Flow to destruction. Witch elves.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go back there. Okay. I mean, they're out of firepower, which is good news for us.
Witch elves.
All right. We can probably bring our troops over and kill Tactless at this point. We have a nice downhill charge. Oh my god, what is that charge? Half a unit gone. Holy shit, that hurts.
Predators all.
And at the same time... No, you're not charging anymore. I forbid that.
I'll enjoy this. Skilled murderesses. Bleak swords. We understand. Beastmaster!
Alright, just send those troops over. The Fireborn are dead, so you don't have to worry about them. The Fate of Buna plus Spirit Leech plus melee charge dealt with them, so that's nice. Alright, let's just intercept these Reavers with a charge. You can let our infantry do the fighting against infantry. And yeah. Alright, let's just send the Beastmaster over and maybe try and kill Tackless while we're at it. They don't have any firepower left, so we just need to munch Tackless while we're at it.
Wrangler. Kill everything, Beastmaster.
You know what?
Onward.
I'm just gonna pull back a bit and go back to like infantry support. That's all we need.
No match.
3, 2, 1. No, we're not turning that on yet. We need to lock everything down so the Witch Brew can get in range in time. How long is it? Alright. Now that's the time.
Summoning strength. Make them dance. Yes.
Alright, that was way too early. But they decided to take the fight, not that I have any complaints about it. There we go! The ladies won the day. I mean, of course, also the Koa Knights. The grudge match! We managed to survive the kiting! Whew! That was close. I thought we if we actually lost the Sorceress of Death, I think we're toast. But because she survived, we managed to nuke down the Fireborn. With some help from the Koa Knights, of course. One of them got wrecked by all the firepower. The Knights of the Ebon Claw did okay. Get a good charge onto some of the... Oh, these are Shadow Walkers. That explains why we got killed so fast. They're more elite, of course. But yeah, the ladies did work here. I mean, these ladies didn't really see much action throughout the game. They were mostly fresh, untouched. But yeah, they did the final charge and crushed the remaining High Elves. And that was what was important. And High Beastmaster, man. The Tormentor Sword is just such a nice ability. And I think that is why the High Beastmaster is a pretty underrated lord. Like, he's not like a powerhouse like Malekith or like the Soul Stealer Sorceress Lady, but he has his own use in his own ways. I mean, my build would be pretty much toast if not for the Tormentor Sword limiting my opponent's kiting. New tutorial. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can see the challenge page, and it will usually state the time of the challenge, the challenge event start time. Yeah. Like, don't worry, there's always like more events coming every week. You can see there should be more events. I know. I mean, I will be hosting something on Saturday for, I don't know if it's an advanced player or a new player tourney for the RTK clan, but either ways, there will be someone hosting a Conquest tournament on Saturday for newer players at the RTK clan. You can see the announcements on the tournament channels. And you can always check out Human Boy Yes. He always hosts like a lot of fun events. I know there's one more coming up, a King of the Hill event you can check out. I don't think it's still open for register, but like you can. Yeah, I don't think it's open for signups, but you can still like watch the stream regardless. And yeah, but yeah, we got kited, but we managed to survive and put enough pressure onto their mobility and missile assets to turn the game around. As the Witch Elves definitely just cut down all those poor Rangers there. Not quite getting their worth, dealing with something way more elite than them. Well, of course, there are Witch Elves that got showered with arrows and died horribly. But yeah, the Koan Cavalry did work, and Tormentor Swordman. That was very, very much important. And also the Anti-Lodge comes in handy for the High Beastmaster. GG to my opponent there, and we should move on to round 3, I think. Yes, we have Archangel playing as Greenskins. Alright. WoW versus Witch Brew. Who's gonna win? We shall see. Two very much juiced up melee attack phase. We shall see. Wait, where's Archangel? Alright, let's see if they have a lobby or if they want to join our lobby. Either way, so we're switching maps to Valley of Thieves. Oh, it's a completely open map, so if we're fighting a lot of Daka, that might be a bit of trouble. Alright, looks like our opponent has a lobby, so we're just gonna hop on over. Alright, sheesh, the weather's getting kind of cold, so let me just close the window. Give me a second. But yeah, I'm just gonna go with the 4 Witch Elf build every damn time, I think. We can pump it up to 5 occasionally, but I think 4 is like a good amount of Witch Elves. A powerful front line, but these are Greenskins, so they can be quite good at kiting. Maybe I should bring the High Beastmaster again? Nah, I'll just get a Shadowcaster actually, if I want to slow down the enemy. Yeah, Melkovs, that's what we're gonna do, and maybe, nah, I'll just, yeah, Pit of Shades, maybe Lord of Death would be good, because it's Greenskins, they don't have a lot of self-heal, so Fate of Buna, but they don't have a lot of expensive units either. Yeah, I'll just Melkovs this. Oh no, Lord of Fire. They have a weak front. We already have a really strong front line. We don't have to trade front line like that. Yeah. We definitely need Harpies, just because we need to. Oh, this might be a good time for a Crone Hellebron, actually. We need that terror from the Manticore. Gaze of Cain, Curse Plates. Yeah, I guess we can. That's not exactly a useful ability. Blood Frenzy, and I think that's about it. Witch Brew. We can grab that. Now, if we have enough funds, we might get that later, but not now. Not now. Let's just get a War Hydra. Just because we need maybe we need another terror piece in the front line, and also has a little bit of a neat fire attack, the fire breath attack. Oh shit, and we're out of funds. You know what, we can cut that one out and just bring a couple of Koan Knights. You know. What? Yeah. That will do. Yeah, let's just get a couple Dark Riders with shields, and then we have funds, just enough funds for another Witch Elf. Yep, that will do. That is our build right now, right here. Or we can bring a third. Yeah, we are allowed to bring 5 Witch Elves on Frit Roll, so we'll just bring 4 or 5. Yeah, let's just do that. We're just gonna outwa the Wa. That would be funny. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Big mistake. I didn't put any spells on my caster. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, fire. Burning Head? Burning Head. Yeah, let's just grab that. But what if they kite me? Ooh, I'm a bit worried about that. Yeah, we'll just grab a couple of Dark Riders. We'll go back to Lord of Shadows, Dark Steed. Yeah, we can get Smoke and Mirrors, and we don't need Dark Star Cloak, Melkovs, and Withering, just to drop the enemy leadership. Yeah. Okay, we still have some funds left, so I guess we can just have jet speeds on the flank, and yeah, that should be it. No idea if this is gonna work or not, but you know, it's for the funds. We've got witch elves, and they'll kill everything for me. That's a plan. That is the plan. Now the only problem is if they have a big single piece of monster, that might be a bit rough to deal with because we don't have any dark shards. But then again, because we have dark shards on our roster, I don't think Greenskins are gonna bring some big giant centipiece that requires us to shoot them. We shall see, we shall see. But yeah, we've only been using Manticore Lord so far. Actually, we might as well just use another Manticore Lord in the end game, in the first round. That would be thematic, to say the least. Alright, we are gonna try to outlaw the Wa, with our Witch Brew. Medical infused Wa versus a natural mushroom Wa. It's yeah. It's gonna be funny, to say the least. And because we have a medically induced Wa, we are free to use it whenever we want. Only one use though, so unrechargeable, like unlike the actual real Wa. But then again, we do have the Murderous Prowess and Murderous Mastery, which is essentially a second Wa for us, so it's fine. Yeah. Right. We are ready. Alright, yeah. We're just gonna go for a wide freaking line and try to charge everything down. And hopefully they don't kite us to death. I can only hope though, because you never know. Alright, ready when you are, and good luck, have fun to Archangel. Alright, looks like our opponent is probably also going to be ready soon. Alright, yep. Let's go. Oh no, there is kiting! Well. I mean, it's Greenskins, so you kind of expect that, right? Yeah, we pulled back some of our troops. Savage. Yeah, I don't like this. There's not a lot of melee troops for us to fight. Alright, pull back. Ooh, that's a really freaking wide army. I don't like this. Yeah, that's a lot of numbers. Put on the flanks. I don't know if I have the troops to handle those.
Merciless warriors, at once. Moving out.
Alright, let's just send out witch elves over and just fight them. Alright, start cutting them through. You guys can do that as well. Alright, we probably need to send in some stuff to maybe hold the line.
Agreed. Now, Sethai.
End them.
Oh shit, I forgot about that part.
Enough of blood. Shenlu.
Moving out.
Check. On to murder. To battle.
Alright, let's get some damage done in the front line and maybe try and break off some of their Wa elements. Oh, I can't fight that. Yeah, let's just go that way.
The merciless host.
You can drop a bit of a Oreo? Did you say Oreo?
Cold ones. We understand.
Alright, let's just turn that one on.
Pride of Cain for Cain!
Oh wow, okay, what happened here?
Sarathan!
Carnage awaits.
Alright, let's just send out some troops over here to this side. Oh no.
Druki.
That's not great. Let's see if we can bail that one out.
Cain
Okay,
and
we are
Lee.
breaking off some of the pockets of the
Ready
orcs,
to spare.
but she's still dead. Let's just get another spell out before she goes down. Bring up back some troops over, and then we can send those over. We haven't even had a chance to use our big Calibron
Mark it.
big
Ready.
spell, big ability, no? Okay, never mind.
With
Alright, let's just fight that one. We can turn this one on, actually. Just make sure everyone gets killed in the vicinity.
and slaughter.
Oh, no, 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 don't take the fight there. Don't take the fight there.
Moving
Start
out.
running, start running. Keep running. Keep running. Run. Run for what? No, no. Why are you in? No, she ran into the, no. She starts fighting. No, I can't even use the spell. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Oh, she's so dead. She's so dead. Oh, backfired hard. Yeah, that ability backfired hard. Oh wait, hold on.
Cold ones.
We can try and kill.
Hag Queen.
As you say. Nagarothi with pleasure. Carnage awaits.
I mean, we still somehow we are in the lead of balance of power. Oh, that's probably. All right, let's go and try and kill.
Cold ones. Die with
Let's try and kill Warzak while we're at it.
bleak swords. Understood.
Since we can.
Destroy.
We got stuff being shot to death, and we have.
Blood drenched.
Our caster is probably not coming back. Oh well, whatever. It is what it is. That's fine. This is a damage and losses one I'm willing to take. I just need Warzak to stay in there and die.
Eager for battle. Death is coming.
Helibron.
All right, let's just charge back down in again, and
Without question.
we're almost due for another
Massacre
big
them.
burst damage thingy.
Tulloch.
All right, let's just do that.
Let them
All right, let's let everyone just start fighting. I guess I don't care anymore. But yeah, I mean the only reason why we're still doing okay on balance of power is just because Warzak is so damaged. We could cause some infantry back. Keep fighting, I guess. Oh, they're trading. They're trading. We're trying to trade Waz against Wa, and just kill Warzak. Come on, we can do this.
All shall die.
Shut.
Agreed.
We understand.
Quickly now.
Just kill Warzak.
Helibron.
So close yet so far. All the attack buffs is oh, it's killing Caliban. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Here we go. One more hit. One more hit. Come on.
The merciless host. Going. Glorious destruction.
All right. Warzak down.
Quickly now.
We can move on to the next character, I guess. And our flyers are back. Our witch elves are still holding.
For battle.
Witch elves.
And oh well, they have used up their wish but that's not a problem.
On to
The High of Leadership holds.
Through.
Oh man, these Colon Knights are still fighting. Down to 5 of them. A meager 5 of them. They're still holding. Oh boy, impressive stuff. Yeah, these Night Goblins, the Fanatics, 8 peak loons, they can go down. Oh boy, Witch Elves. We did it. The Witch Elves survived, and we still have some Witch Elves on the field. These ones are like half health even. Oh boy, 6 of them still fighting. And we just need to kill this one lone night goblin. And we are done. Yeah, there we go. GG. That was a close one. Whew. The Witch Elves did okay. I mean, a couple of them didn't earn back their worth. This one's close to earning back their worth, but that is the other two made up for it. Yeah, won out the front line fight, and yeah, it's just Cold One Knights being very well in direct trades. I did lose the caster, but the Witch Elves earned their worth, and yeah, and that one Cold One Knight carrying the game, killing a bunch of Savage Orc. Oh, these are Boar Boys. These are not Biggins. Oh, the Biggins did better. The Boar Boy Biggins did better, but Frontline didn't really earn back much, and neither are the Squig Hoods. Orc Shaman did okay, cause my Sorceress of Shadows got Rampage into fighting him. Oh, that was hilarious though. Hellebron MVP, yeah, I think so. Archangel was like Hellebron MVP. I do agree with that because the damage boost was, and the Terror comes in really handy. Mostly to the Terror, I think. The damage boost wasn't that key, unlike the previous battle, where the damage boost for those Witch Elves are literally what held up the balance of power in the end. And of course, Hellebron being relative. Yeah. No wait, no, that's a different no, that was not a Hellebron game, the previous one. This one, yeah, the last one was a Beastmaster game. This one was a Hellebron game, and yeah, got some pretty good damage done overall. And yeah, the first Goblin the skirmishing didn't really do too great for the Greenskins because I don't think they shot the stuff they were supposed to shoot at, which are the Witch Elves. Harpies are cheap, so like they can take a couple of volleys and then just retreat and still be fine. Yeah. Mostly just that one Cold Knight, really. But I think that Cold Knight did receive the blessing of Crone Hellebron, and which allowed them to do a lot more damage, mostly pinning down. Oh wait, that is not worth it. That is Gorbat. Anyways, yeah, pinning down Gorbat, and that allowed the Crone Hellebron to drop in and snipe him out. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was probably why they got so much value, because they killed a bunch of melee cav. They got the damage buff from Crone Hellebron, killed Gorbat, and killed whatever around as well. Yeah. Alright, looks like that is it for our round. Let's see if we have a fourth round up yet. No, we're still waiting for VM Flower and Grimbat to conclude their game, but overall GG to my opponent there. That was a close one. It could have gone either way, depending on who sniped out whose Lord, and that would have decided the flow of the combat, but yeah. Looks like Segos has oh wait, oh, hold on. Nope, never mind. But yeah, I'm not gonna cover who wins the tournament in the end, so we can have a little bit of a suspense before we go into the replays. But yeah, looks like we have a fourth match concluded. Nope, it's still going. So yeah, we'll have to wait a bit here. I don't think there's enough time for us to go through any of the replays. Like the fourth round might just start while we're just still waiting. Yeah, while we're still going through one of the replays. So I'd rather not force everyone to wait for me, or not force my opponent to wait for me. Yeah, while we play. I'm just gonna do some replay downloads. Organize the files a bit so that we can hop straight in. Ouch. Looks like Grimbat and Flower might have a bit of yeah, Might have a bit of technical issues here. Seems like they have been crashing their game, so if they're crashing again, it's just going to be a draw so that we can move on with round 4. But let's give them a bit of time. Yeah, hopefully they don't crash again, but that might be 10 to 20 minutes of wait before we start round 4. And so if everyone doesn't have anything else to do, we can hop in to one of the replay files, and since we're just waiting for the players to get their technical issues sorted. Like, this is not a case where somebody is late to the game or anything. It's just unfortunate technical mishaps. So yeah, we'll give them a bit of time to hopefully have those sorted out. And but if they can't get those technical issues under control, then we're just gonna call that match a draw and move on to round 4. And I mean, we only have one more round left, so it's not like we need a lot more time in the tourney. And yeah, let's just hop on to one of these replays first. We have Archangel versus Pasha here. Greenskins versus Kislev, and looks like Archangel is taking a liking in Gorbat today. This is another Gorbat battle. We fought Gorbat once before, and now we see another Gorbat on the field. Pasha here going with an Ice Witch, I believe, and that is a lot of men of Kislev with a single terrifying elemental construct, elemental being. Anyways, for the army built here, Archangel going with goblins in the front line with orc boys mixed in. So a rather wide front line there, a lot of numbers. Supported by orc boar bigans, orc boar boys, boar bigans, and boar boy, yeah, on both sides. So a lot of bacon cav, as said by Duff Plays. It's coined by Duff Plays, the bacon calf units. The Rusty Airs coming in with some armor sundering missiles, and once again we see some signature skirmishing forces of the Greenskins, Goblin Wolf Archers, Spider Rider Archers, and Manji Marauders. Leading the army is Gorbat Ironclaw, and supported by an Orc Shaman with all the attack buffs. Only one attack buffs really, and that's pretty much what you need. Here we go with 40 plus melee attack and a Brain Burster here for a little bit of AoE damage. On the other side, for the Kislevites, double terror causing entities here, Ice Witch, Tempest on the Frostworm coming in with Hailstorm Blizzard. I would have expected a Lord of Ice with Hulks of Miska, maybe? Because that applies leadership debuff, the discourage effect onto any units affected, and it can be devastating to the low leadership of Greenskins. But either ways, we also have the Incarnate Elemental of Beast, which reduces enemy leadership as well with that -8, and yeah, it's pretty, and also the Vortex Engine effect with the default Flock of Doom thingy going on. And yeah, other than that, a front line of Zargards and Armored Corsairs, very tanky, very sturdy. They're gonna hold for quite a long while with some Streltsies backing them up in case they need to kill monsters. On the flanks, some Kislevite warriors, actually at the back there. Kislevite warriors, no cavalry whatsoever. A rather static build with a quite powerful missile core. But I do wonder how would they fare against the tide of Greenskins here. Especially this is Gorbat. He is a master of combined arm strategies with multiple units mixing in, and yeah, let's see what happens. Already the Incarnate Elemental of Beast, seeing that there's not much to threaten it right now because there's no archers on and this flank that it was visible. Now that the Rusty Airs are shooting, they are visible. They're no longer in stock and start chipping away the health of the Incarnate Elemental of Beast. And yeah, it is just simply pushing through and trying to get to the Rusty Airs, as all these Bacon Calf have moved on to the flanks ready to flank around, but that means the back lines are unprotected from the savagery of the Kislevite monsters. Streltsies are moving up as well, trying to reach these Rusty Airs, but they might be getting a little bit out of position there. Anyways, the front line wise, the Orc War Boys have charged in. But they're charging like Zargards head on, charging Armor Corsairs as well. Ooh, really nice use of the Apic Looney's Fanatics cast, getting some really nice damage done onto the Zargards and even some of these Kislevite warriors. The Bacon Calf did enough damage to the Armor Corsairs, and but unfortunately they will be broken off by the Hailstorm. More Bacon Calf collapsing in from the side. This is where the lack of cavalry kicks in, bites the Kislevites from behind. since there's nothing to stop these Bacon Calf from moving through the gaps of the Kislevite formations and striking them from the rear, just like these Streltsies and the Dark Guard sandwiched between a rock and a very pointy hard place. The Orc Boys aren't exactly the sturdiest infantry, but they're good enough to buy time for these Bacon Calf to just absolutely devastate the rear ranks of all these Kislevite infantry, and on top of that, the middle fight here, Streltsies are also getting dragged into the fight by Orc Boys, Broken Tusk Mob, while the Greenskin skirmishers are just chipping away their health from afar. There is indeed a what is this called again? Blizzard? Yeah, Blizzard just doing some nice damage to the Broken Tusk Mob. But overall, the Ice Witch is not doing too hot, getting hit by the armor-piercing missiles of the Manji Marauders, and the Incarnate Elemental of Beast is still just hounding this Rusty Air unit, but it's definitely not worth it to spend such an expensive single entity to go after these cheap... I mean, they're not exactly the cheapest, but still rather cheap Rusty Airs at like, what, 700 gold? And this thing costs like double the cost of these Rusty Airs. And now also on top of that, Incarnate Elemental of Beast has been singled out, and the Orc Warrior Begins are free to charge in and tie it down in melee. While the rest of the Greenskins are free to pick apart this Kislevite formation there, quite unfortunately. The Dark Guards are wiped out due to the rear charge from the Orc War Boys. Kislevite Warriors are piling in, but the Goblins can just screen off the Kislevite Warriors, and the Bacon Calf can retreat. And on top of that, the Kislevite infantry are trying to pressure the enemy skirmishers, but they're way faster than the Kislevite, so they are just kiting. Gorbad, though, in a fight against the Snow Leopard and Ice Witch is not having a good time whatsoever, fighting against an actual melee combatant while she's just cosplaying as one, just relying on the power of the Frostworm. And now the Rusty Air has returned since the Incarnate Elemental of Beast is too busy fighting stuff elsewhere, trying to drain down units. But a nice Brain Burster there, blasting away some of those Streltsies and doing some okay damage. Nothing too amazing, but yeah, it's decent. Howl of the Great Beast, dropping the leadership of the Greenskins, but unfortunately, it's not exactly useful right now because the Greenskins are not, they're not suffering heavy leadership issues. So none of them are being broken off by that Howl. Maybe these Goblins are terrified because their leadership hasn't dropped. But the Orc War Boy Biggins and Orc War Boys are just not exactly carrying it right now. They still have decent leadership, and the Ice Witch is dead. Ice Witch has been slain. Nothing really in place to save her, really. And yeah, I think that is going to be GG here, as the army losses is soon going to hit. Yeah. GG to the Greenskins. The combined arms of the Greenskins here again, striking the enemy formations from multiple angles, while the enemy is a little bit too slow to react. That is gonna be GG. Oh, looks like... Oh no, looks like it is a crash between Flower and Grimbat. That is gonna be... Yep. That is gonna be the third round, and we're moving on to the fourth round. Oh no. Alright, yeah, so we're moving on to the fourth round. I'm just gonna quickly go through the army performances here, and then we can hop into the last battle of our last battle in this tourney. Hold on a second here. Gorbad did really well, just in a pitch engagement against the Ice Witch and winning in the end, so getting some really solid damage value. But overall, the Bacon Calf striking the enemy, hammering the enemy with the anvil of Orc Boys was what won the day, just collapsing onto the Streltsies and punching. Well, they didn't actually do that much damage value, but the fact that the Streltsies were not able to fire much throughout the game was already a lot of is basically passive value, hidden value for the Greenskins, because they're not taking as much damage from the enemy fire while taking away the enemy's balance of power. Because the White Warrior didn't really do much there. They're a little too slow to screen off the enemy's skirmish calf, and yeah, the Incarnate Elemental of Beast spending too much time chasing after the Rusty Airs and still not killing it. It's better to let cavalry do their job, because a single entity chasing after infantry, you're not going to completely kill it because you only have so much DPS. You can hit so many you can only hit so many models at once, while a cavalry can just pursuit individual model with each of their own model if they kick in that pursuit behavior at least. So yeah. So yeah, that was it. I honestly, I think this is just too much reliance on, like, this is a box build, and it's just too much reliance on the infantry. There's no cavalry to counteract the enemy's cavalry or pressure the enemy skirmishers and archers. So you're just handing over the initiative, the agency of the battle entirely to your opponent. I think. I guess the Streltsies are some kind of can put up some kind of initiative in battle by shooting at the enemies that are approaching, but overall, the battlefield control are in the hands of the enemy, of the player with a stronger mobility force, and yeah, the Greenskins exploited the mobility advantage well, and just ran over a bunch of enemy units with those devastating rear charges. Especially Bacon Cav all have armor-piercing value, so charging into Armored Corsairs and Zargots would also do well for them in terms of value. Yeah, but yeah, the Gorbit Ironclaw just beat down the Ice Witch in a fight, showing her who's the actual boss. Yay, orcs indeed. Round 4 will be bugged, right? Yeah, I'll just put a 0-0 for both players, actually. Yeah, since it is a draw, and I don't think players that draw should have an advantage over other players. Either way, so I'm gonna go and fight Sigos while we're at it. Oh. Okay, I think that's fixed. Okay, I think any point issues are done now. I'm just gonna go and fight Sigos now with my Dark Elves, and hopefully don't get wrecked. Oh, we're gonna have to out-corn Corn with the Witch Elf. Kane versus Corn. Okay, that would be funny. Alright, let's go. Let's go. Sigils meant his result with Bueno. Yeah. I fixed that. I saw the messages on Discord. Thanks for letting me know, guys. Yeah. I was a bit too absorbed into the games, and I was actually not checking the results in the individual rounds, so I did not realize when the Sigils meant he won the game. I didn't realize that was a score reporting issue on challenge, but yeah, it's fixed now. Should be accurate. Should be accurate. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we're just waiting for. Yeah, we're just waiting for Sigils to be back so that we can fight them. Alright, cool. This looks like they have a lobby, so we're just gonna join that. Yeah, let's go. Alright, looks like he's ready. We can set up our own units on our side. And as always, we're just gonna bring in 4 witch elves. Now the question is, do we go for the Beastmaster or Crone Helebron? It would be funnier with Crone Helebron, to be honest. Let's do that. Fuck it. I'm not gonna bring a Cauldron of Blood though. It's not great against Khorne, I don't think. Yeah, it's not great against Khorne. Fury of Cain. No, I'm just gonna bring a Manticore. Gaze of Cain, Blood Frenzy, and I'm not gonna bring a Witch Brew on myself. Yeah, just do that. We're just gonna go and fight Khorne with melee. And I hope my opponent is reciprocating with that, instead of trying to kite the hell out of me. That would be sad. Yeah, let's see what happens here. We still need some kind of cavalry. You know what? We can bring a full waifu build. Just because we can. I mean, we can, but should we? Oh, wait, hold on. Curse of Warrior for Lock of Doom. No, we're not bringing Flock of Doom. Poison's Wild Form. That would be... Oh, this is gonna be cursed. This is so gonna be cursed. Yeah. We're just gonna try to out-Khorne Khorne. So, yeah. And let's see what happens, I suppose. It's gonna be rough. Actually, you know what? Blades of the Blood Queen. Yeah, we're just trying to out-Khorne Khorne at this point. And bring a couple Khorne cavalry, another witch elf, and do we have any funds left? Actually, you know what? Take off the witch elf. Yeah, there we go. A cursed build, but it's a build for sure. In case we need to deal with hounds, and then we have just stuff to fight melee. Yeah, whatever. Let's go. And we have a lot of buff stacking. I just don't know if it's gonna be good here. Hello, David. Nice to see you here. Yeah, we're fighting in Sword of Torgold. I totally forgot what the terrain is like. Give me a second. Okay, there's some vegetation, not great for artillery, but I'm still worried about the Hellforge Battlers, but whatever. I'm just trying to fight everything in melee today. Khorne versus Cain. Alright, we're ready. We're ready with the one last hurrah with the Witch Elves. I mean, the Witch Elves have been performing decent for me, I guess. So yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Ooh, what if they are trying to bring up those Slaughter Guard and Berserkers? The Bloodwake Berserkers, then I'm a bit screwed, I guess. We shall see, we shall see. wait, no. You guys stay in the forest so that I can bring up the screening cavalry there, and pretend I don't have anything on the right side, on the left side of the forest. Wait, hold on. Yeah, you're hiding there. Just stay in there. Stay in there. Pretend that you don't exist. And then I have the harpies to pressure any possible skirmishers that I don't want my stuff to be shot at. Because I literally do not have any chaff to screen skirmishers outside of my Dark Riders. This is all I've got. Alright, looks like our opponent is ready, so we're just gonna reply good luck, have fun then. Oh, huh. It is a... Oh, shit! Blood Beast! Forsaken. Oh, this is a melee build. We're taking the challenge. We're taking the challenge. Yes, let's go. The problem is they will probably out-trade me. Due to the fact that they have more stuff on the field. Alright, we really need to pull back those units. Yeah, you guys pull back and you guys push up.
Agreed. King. Death hag. Talak. If you wish.
Oh shit! What the fuck? All the hounds are in there. Why are there all the dogs there? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? It's like a oops, I dropped the dog spilled.
Onward. I'll enjoy this.
Alright, you guys can keep moving towards that side.
Very well.
Oh shit, okay, that's not great.
Moving out. Axenu. Certainly.
Dark Riders. Eager for battle.
Sorceress.
Alright, let's send our witch elves in.
Executioners.
And yeah, let's just send those out.
Withdraw. Make them dance. Kill, maim. Blades ready.
Alright, we need to get this pocket of troops finished up. Let's just turn that on. So I can kill everything in the vicinity here. Alright, you guys can walk off there. Alright, we just keep doing that. Just start killing everything in the vicinity. We can keep kiting them away while we're at it. Alright, oh shit, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have overcast that. Whatever, too late now. Turn that on. We killed everything here. Now the problem is, how do we kill everything on the other side? Alright, let's just send our guys over, and yeah, you can go there, you can fight that. Just charge those, and then turn that on, please, while you guys are a bit busy. Alright, charge that, that's fine. Just keep charging, I don't care. I need another minute. We're outcorning corn, kind of. Yeah, let's just turn everything on with a bit of armor here.
Witch elves.
Alright, cool. Yeah, I think we are holding on okay. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. The Witch Elves are, for some reason, still holding on, despite having a pretty despair scenario. Alright, you guys pull back so that our guys can give you a bit of protection. Oh man, but the Forsaken are doing so much damage to my stuff. Alright, they're gone. We need to pull back our main troops so that we can hold on with our barely any left infantry outside of the
Destroy!
Blades of the Blood Queen.
Lead me. With pleasure. Agreed.
Alright, let's just charge those guys and we can turn this on. Nope, don't you dare go back into the melee fight again. God damn it.
Shenlu, let them suffer. Sorceress of blood.
Death! It is done. Nagarothi! Eager for battle. Understood.
Alright, we have enough.
Spreading despair. End them.
Okay, Blades of the Blood Queen are still fighting.
Baruki, forward!
We have them come back.
Withdraw!
Now, guided by Cain. For
And
Alright,
it's stuck here, innit? Alright.
Sorceress of blood. Come, melee.
Give everyone a bit more armor. Mostly giving Hellebrand a little bit more armor.
End them! No mercy!
Oh, wow, we're getting swarmed.
My
That's not
power is
great.
yours. Sarathan.
Blades of the Black Queen are not doing good, surrounded by just freaking Forsaken only. God damn it. And Hellebrand is dying?
Seeking blood.
Alright, let's just jump stuff in and see if we can bail out Hellebrand at the same time.
Spreading despair.
Oh man, these Dark Elves and they're oh shit, and and our caster is gone. That's not great.
Murder awaits.
Mother of despair.
Alright, can we at least get some stuff to give us some?
Cold ones.
Can we get some terror support? Blades of the Blood Queen are holding on. I just need a few more seconds so that I can get another damage boost. Oh no. Come on, get the damage boost. No! Oh well. GG to my opponent there. We can't outcorn Corn, I suppose. No. GG to my opponent there. That was well played. Well played. I probably should have went for something else in terms of spell choices. The stat modification didn't really do me much good here. Witch Elves are too fragile and just die straight up to the armored Forsaken. They just trade a bit too well. Or at least they were not dying as fast as I wanted them to, and as a result, the Blood Beasts were able to just stay in the middle of a bunch of Forsaken and to just dish out enough damage. And also I kind of botched the micro of some of my mobility, and yeah. So the cavalry didn't quite earn back their worth. That was quite unfortunate on my end as well. And Crone Hellebrand is a little bit too... It's a bit... You've killed off that poor caster a dozen times today. I'll bet the casters in the barracks are all drawing straws as to who has to join your next army. Yeah! I probably should have get her a Pegasus and left her in disguise. But also because I was too focused on the infantry and cavalry, I just forgot about her. This is a bad habit of mine. I get tunnel vision a lot of times and neglect parts of my army, like my poor caster here today. But overall, a very nicely designed build here, and I couldn't outcorn Corn against Zegos with a very strong melee rush build. Yeah. The infantry plus monster just straight up crushed my poor Witch Elves, who couldn't earn back their value, most of their damage being absorbed by the armor on the Forsaken, while they themselves taking a lot of damage from the Forsaken and the Blood Beast. And yeah, GG to my opponent there, and that is it for my run of the 20. I don't think I'm definitely not on the first place here. Somebody else probably will be. We might have a three-way tie in the end, though. Alright, three-way tie. Are we gonna get another free-for-all again? And right, just gonna quickly. Hmm. Hold on, give me a second. I think that we have to figure out some tournament admin stuff at the back end and see what happens. Okay, give me a second, sorry. Hold on, sorry. Let me just quickly sort out some stuff at the back end. Uh, Alright, looks like we might have an end to the tournament. We can conclude that. Yeah, give me a second. Yeah, I still have no idea what the Butchel score is, but yeah. There are multiple players with a match score tie. So we'll just have to wait and see if they want to do another free for all, or are we just gonna yeah. Or are we just gonna call it a day? We shall see. Alright, sorry about the little bit of 20 mishaps for the 20 admin mishap for a bit there, but yeah, I think while we wait for the three-way tie players to come to an agreement on whether to proceed with a free-for-all or if they just agree to conclude the 20 with the current ranking on challenge, yeah. Before that happens, we shall move on to the replay section. We do have a few replays available, and we have not covered most of them yet. Yeah, we shall go in and check out some replays. Now, the first of all, we have... Alright, so we are going in with Warriors of Chaos versus Khorne. This time it's Grimbat versus Sigils with that's a lot of cavalry. Holy hell. Versus Khorne, who is gonna get kited? Man, Khorne is just getting kited every time. I mean, I didn't kite Khorne this time, but mostly Khorne is just suffering heavily at the hands of kiters in literally every single tournament ever since I came back from traveling. Alright, let's see here. Grimbat going with Valkia the Bloody. With 4 Marauder horses, 2 Horse Masters, 3 Hellstriders, 1 Chaos Knight with sword and shield, the Rotting Riders, 2 Marauders, and 1 Metal Caster, I assume with Searing Doom and Final Transmutation, or just Final Transmutation. Alright, cool. Right. Sorry, just replying to the tournament and just making sure everything's sorted on that side, and then we can come back. Alright, cool. Never mind. While we wait for the tournament players to decide whether they want more games or not. We shall continue with the casting here. For the Clone Army, we have went for the Warriors of Chaos Army. We went through most of the army build except the spell kit of the Chaos Sorcerer. It looks like it is just a final transmutation, and Volkia is coming in with only Spear Slopnir, being a rather survivable foot lord, and with shield and armor, she can survive enemy shots to the face, especially surviving Hellforge Bellower shots, just fine. But either ways, that is a very mobile Warriors of Chaos army, while Khorne is going for a rather small core here. A line of Marauders, and then one Minotools of Khorne with great weapons, Bloodwake Berserkers, ready to kill everything in melee. Oh, it's gonna be extremely rough for them to get killed by Psycho Charging. You can only shoot them to death, but they are also foot-sized models, and it's Oh, hold on. Looks like we are having a best of 3 situation going on. Well. Let us just hop in and see. Sorry. Let me just hop in and see if we can cast the games live then. Alright, looks like... Oh. Alright. They might be playing a best of 3 even, so we might be able to just hop in onto their spectator slot and cast the game live between the top 2 ranking players in the tournament, Boyna Roja and Pasha. But we shall see what happens with that. Not entirely sure. It might be a best of 1 though. Okay, we're going in. Let me just get the screen blocker up so that we don't spoil the surprises. Pasha is Kislev. It's a rematch. Buena Roja and Pasha were having they were having a match previously in round 4. One of them lost, and it's a rematch. So it is an avenging match for the player who lost the previous round. I'm not gonna spoil who won the previous match, but we shall see who will be reigning supreme in this tournament, since these two are the top 2 players in the tournament, as Sigurd has decided not to proceed with the free-for-all. And yeah, it is between Pasha and Buena Roja to decide who is gonna reign supreme in this tournament. We shall see in a second here, as Pasha is almost done with his army build, while Buena Roja is still figuring stuff out. Yeah, we're just gonna have to give them a bit of time. Alright, cool. Maps have been decided. I just basically had like an Excel document with a bunch of randomly generated numbers. A formula of randomly generated numbers, which can always pop up like random numbers, and I can use them to sort things randomly. And that is how I basically decided the maps pool of every tournament. And I have that on ready. I just reshuffled everything, and whatever's on top, well, that's the map for this best of one finals in this Swiss format 20. So yeah, it is Ash Plains, and it is an extremely flat and empty map, and it is quite advantageous to any missile build here, since there's no cover on the field to protect anything from being shot at. Oh, hold on. 3, 8, 12, 12. Okay. Okay, never mind. That is within limit. Never mind. And yeah. It is quite rough for Demons of Chaos to play this match, though. So yeah, we shall see what happens in this one. FF free-for-all, unfortunately, no, we don't have free-for-all today. It would be great. I would love to see some free-for-all happening. But it is unfortunately not the case today. But we still have a best of one finals between Pasha and Buena Roja. So that is going to be fun. Also, yeah, thanks for everyone for joining the stream, by the way. We don't usually see more than 20 viewers these days, because I've just been dialing back a bit of my content creation recently. But yeah, it's great to see everyone here. I appreciate everyone, and if you like the content, do hit a like button and subscribe. I'm pretty sure everyone here has subscribed, but yeah, it would be great if you can just like the video as well. It helps with the algorithm and views. Yeah. But yeah, it looks like we have we're almost done with the army build. Pasha looks like, oh shit, did I? Yeah, okay, I do have the army block wrap. Okay, cool. Pasha looks like he's done. Buena Roja is still deciding on the last tiny bit of gold. Yeah. But yeah, Ash Plains, completely barren map, no vegetation, no like impassable terrain or vegetation to just block shots. And it's gonna be quite rough for the Demons of Chaos to approach any missile units. But yeah, because of how empty the map is, it's also quite easy to like spot stuff. The visibility is excellent on the map. But yeah, we shall see what happens here. Alright, looks like Kislev is ready, and we're just waiting on Demons of Chaos. Buena Roja is really thinking hard on this one. It is a rough matchup for the Demons, though. They get outshot by Kislev, they can't trade well into the mobility game, and there's a bunch of magic that screws them up as well. Especially like Hulks of Miska, right? I have not looked into the spellcasting kit of the Kislevites actually, but like Hulks of Miska with that leadership debuff is very painful for the demons when it just shoves them straight into that demonic instability crumble and does a bunch of damage through that instead of actually damaging the units. So yeah, that is quite a hurtful spell. But yeah, Buena Roja is really putting a lot of thought into their build. I'm just looking at like the last few hundred gold of jumping back and forth between like the last few hundred gold and 0 gold. Which is very fair actually. If you want to play to win. Oh, looks like both are ready. We are good to go. Yeah. Like, even if I'm trying to meme my battles, I still want to at least, get a win. So, yeah. Looks like we have the armies decided here. I switch with Tempest. There's probably... there might be a Hulks of Miska somewhere. Let me just check. I don't know if there's actually a Hoax of Miska. Again, I have not checked the spell kit of the Ice Witch. Just waiting for them to load in. Take some time. I think mostly because everyone's all over the world. The connection can be a bit finicky. Especially now it's like three-way connection between Pasha, who might be in somewhere in Eastern Europe or even Russia, and then I'm in the UK, and then Buena Roja is probably from Argentina, from what the lobby says previously when I joined his lobby. So yeah, it's literally all over the world. 3 different continents even. Anyways, for the army builds here, Pasha going with a lot of missiles. Just a whole line of Kossars spears, and are there armored Kossars? No, just Kossars and Kossar spears, and 8 of them in total. And then another 4 units of horse archers, so a lot of archer line. And then we have the incarnate elemental of beast, Frostworm, and a second Frostworm. With Hoax of Miska, indeed, they brought the Discourage spell to nuke the enemy leadership, alongside with the -8 leadership of the Howl of the Great Beast from the elemental, incarnate elemental of beast. So yeah, that is a lot of leadership debuff. A total of -24 if stacked together. Patriarch also there to provide the Solix Lullaby healing for all the single entity monsters, and that's it for the army builds for the Kislevites. On the other side, for the demons, a line of blue horrors, most certainly gonna get outshot by a bunch of Kislevite archers. There are like 12 of them. There are like 8 of the foot archers, and then only 5 of the blue horrors. And yeah, that is gonna be rough for the blue horrors. At least they have more numbers than the Kislevite archers per unit, I guess. But yeah, Seekers of Slanesh, providing some solid mobility in the sky, some furies to disrupt enemy archers. Change bringers to burn down the enemy units. The problem is that their short range makes them rather vulnerable to enemy counterfire. When they move close, they're just gonna get shot back at. And they're very, very fragile. I'll probably just pick a bunch of Exalted Flamer for the vortex damage instead of change bringers. But I guess they have their uses. I don't know how good they are in this matchup. Their range is so short, only 90 versus 140 on these Kossars. They're most certainly gonna get counterfired, and that is not gonna end well for them. One for Licorice Bubonic and the Feathered Prince Zarivik, the Feathered Prince, leading the army with Blue Fire, Pink Fire, and the Gaze of Fate. Very classic combination for this Tinge Demon Prince. And yeah, we're gonna wait a bit here, as both armies are just maneuvering their units to different positions. Most archers are firing away, chipping away the enemy siege barrier, which is not exactly the worst thing for the Demons of Chaos here. The barrier does recharge, while ammo does not refill for the Kislevites. Alright, yeah. Both sides are taking this rather patiently, repositioning their army. And Demons of Chaos already occupy the capture point. Not that it's unlocked yet. It's almost unlocked, so they can start capturing soon. And the Horse Archers continues fire chipping away the barrier of these blue horrors. And also staying ahead of these blue horrors, having, again, 140 range. Oh, 140 range on the Horse Archers versus only 90 range on the blue horrors. And yeah, it's not great for the blue horrors. They're just getting outranged and outshot. So Feathered Prince, having their barrier knocked out, decided to dive in and try and take off some of these Horse Archers. And one of the Horse Archers did get caught. I wonder, did they get caught by the Gaze of Fate? Probably not Gaze of Fate. They just unfortunately caught by the Chaos Furies. Either way, they are now stuck on the ground and yeah, dragged into melee. And a lot of Changebringer fire, absolutely roasting this poor Ice Witch and the Frostworm. Plus the Warp Flame effect, imbuing that plus 10% fire weakness. That is quite a painful volley for the Ice Witch. But of course, you can see that their team barrier is almost knocked out from like a single volley of archer fire, despite their rather small model. And Zarevik also taking a bunch of damage in the process, but here comes the blue horse getting close enough to just keep spamming those blue fire shots onto the Kozars and almost annihilating the entire unit. And the Incarnate Elemental of Beast getting a little bit impatient here, charging head first into the blue horse, but at the same time exposing himself to all these counter fire of the Changebringers, and it's almost dead in this one volley. I feel like almost the Kislevite player is just a little bit too impatient with his single entities. The Incarnate Elemental of Beast is already demonic instability crumbling to death, although same goes for some blue horrors there, being threatened by the Frostworm. I feel like if the single entities can stay within that protection of all these overwatching fire of all these Kislevite archers, they could have held on a lot longer. And not bringing armored Kossars might be the problem here, because armored Kossars have no issue tanking the blue horror fire at all, but these are regular Kossars, so they don't have armor, they don't have shields, and whatever they take, whatever damage they take from the blue horrors, they take everything in full. Ooh, the horse archers just dive straight into the blue horrors, triggering a counter charge from the seekers, but that also blocks up the demons, allowing a beautiful hail storm dropping right onto these seekers and blue horrors. A really worthy trade for the Kislevites, though in the end they're still kind of behind on balance of power due to the loss of their big expensive single entity. They're trying their best to pull it back, but the Changebringers, not being threatened by anything right now, is free to just absolutely blast everything into smithereens with their devastating damage. The Kislevites are trying their best to pull it back, but Narcissism pinning down the Ice Witch as well. Quite an unfortunate RNG for the Kislevites, as the demons manage to roll that Siege Army ability. Combined with the Gaze of Fate, there's a lot of control abilities on the Demons of Chaos side. The infantry situation is getting under control for the Kislevites. The problem is their lord is extremely unhealthy right now, and the Changebringers are still free to roam the field. At least the Kossars had decided to drop their bows and arrows and just go into melee, drag down those blue horrors in melee alongside the help of some Frostworms and the Snow Leopard. On the other side, blue horrors have mostly ran out of ammo, so they're just gonna get outshot and outgunned by the Kossars and Kossars with spears. More blue pink fire coming in, roasting these unarmored Kossars, and then they have triggered their Bar of Blood, just trying their hardest to hang on to battle right now, while the poor Frostworm is also falling victim. The regular Frostworm is also falling victim to the enemy Changebringers. The Patriarch unfortunately is on foot, so he can't actually get into a good position to keep casting those Select Lullaby. For Lycos Bubonic, unfortunately, they don't have any self-heal when they're not in melee. So, yeah, while they were trying to rush into a melee fight, they just took a bunch of arrows in the face and it just got shot down for a bit there. Especially if the Frostworm decided to jump in and charge them, they're probably gonna go down. Never mind, just archers alone are enough to take them down. Anyways, the Changebringers are still on the field and are definitely capable of doing some devastation among the enemy ranks. But the problem is that, looks like more pink fire coming in from Zarevik here, and the Kossars are also getting thinned out a bit by bit. Now the question is, do the Changebringers have what it takes to take down whatever's left on the Kislevite side? Especially Kislevites now are trying to regroup their forces, get their single entities together so that they can drop a Select Lullaby onto them and get those health back. Now the Zarevik does not have the Zarevik and the rest of the Demons of Chaos do not have any units near the double Frostworm, so they're free to heal, while the Demons of Chaos do not have any fire damage to cut down that healing. Zarevik it is down to Zarevik to disrupt and shut down all these infantry, but the problem is the Frostworms. The double Frostworms are always nearby, ready to threaten him with a lot of anti-large damage, especially some of that might be magical. No, none of those are magical, never mind. But yeah, I think that is the end for the Demons of Chaos. Really well played for most of the battle. Ooh, are they gonna get hit by the spell? Nope, they managed to get through. But yeah, they're just taking so much damage from the Archer Fire. They are very fragile themselves, and that is going to be army losses there as the Changebringers fade away. Very nicely played from Buena Roja, but unfortunately just not quite enough to overcome the sheer volume of archer fire from the Kislevites. Yeah, GG to both players, very nicely played, and that is going to be the end for today's 20. We do have the replay section coming up, so don't stay tuned. But yeah, GG and congrats to Pasha for this victory in the 20, with of course Kislevites' sheer volume of archer fire. The shower of arrows is proven to be devastating to Demons of Chaos. Rip Kislev? My bad, I'd rather be Kislev at this point. Yeah, the thing is, the problem about Demons of Chaos is that once their units break, that's it for them. They don't come back. But Kislevites and other mortal armies, those units can return and stick around. Because Demons of Chaos, once the unit dies, it is deducted from the balance of power forever, and that is not great for the Demons of Chaos in late game. They just keep losing more and more units, while the Kislevites, or something even like a Greenskins, Skavens, they can bring stuff back in to go for a second round. While Demons of Chaos, you only live once, literally. Well, not in terms of the grander sense of the demons, since they live forever and just keeps coming back, but demons, regular demons in a regular fight, they only live once and they don't come back. And not having that second round really hurts the Demons of Chaos. They struggle more than other factions to recover in the late game. They don't have units returning from route. They can't salvage units that are just faded away from existence. They can't resurrect dead models like the undead or like the Rev Crystal. So yeah, they struggle a bit. Very glass cannon and kind of lacking in terms of sustainability, endurance. But yeah, overall still a very nicely played games from both sides. I almost feel I wanted to say Buena Roja played their cards better. Just unfortunately, the odds in this game, in this matchup, is pretty much stacked way against their favor. Yeah, Kislevite just having that upper hand here, thanks to all their archer fire. And the Demons of Chaos, yes, their Changebringers did so much, tried so hard to make this work. But in the late game, where there's nothing to screen for them, nothing to help them distract the enemy archers, and they themselves being so fragile, they can only do so much here, being outgunned, outnumbered, and outranged by everything on the other side. Either way, it's very well played from both players. I should quickly make an announcement on the Discord channel, and then we will be moving on into the replay section and go back to the games we were supposed to check out earlier. Hold on, we also have some replay files that we need to download. Okay, I think that's all the files we need. I think there might be some files missing, but whatever. Yeah. Let me just quickly make an announcement on Discord, get some water, and then we should be good to go again. Alright, cool. We're done with the announcements. We can finally go into the replay casting. First up, we have Warriors of Chaos versus Khorne. We have went through the Warriors of Chaos army already. Final transmutation on the Chaos Saucer, only the Spear Slopnir on Valkyr the Bloody, 2 Marauders, 3 Hellstriders, 1 Chaos Knights with a sword and board, Rotting Riders, 4 Marauder Horsemen, and 2 Marauder Horse Masters. And on the Khorne side, we have 3 Marauders, 4 Warhounds, 1 Minotaurs with great weapons, the Bloodwake Berserkers, a very, very tough, hard to kill infantry, very powerful melee attacks and damage as well. Scarbrand the Exile leading the army, Karanak here. And on the other side we have, a bunch of Warhounds. And also the Hellforged Bellowers ready to bellow some flames into these Warriors of Chaos skirmishers. Warhounds are immediately jumping out of the forest trying to pressure the enemy skirmishers, but the Hellstriders are nearby and they might actually get caught. Oh no! A little bit of a mismicro with the Warhounds. They're just trying to run after the Horse Masters but not paying attention to the Hellstriders nearby. And it seems like the Warhounds are just gonna get wrecked, but no! It seems like there's a countercharge against this countercharge. Seems like, yeah, we have Scarbrand the Exile himself slapping those Hellstriders, though some of them are trying to get out of there. But Rotting Riders are also piling in. So a lot of resources are being invested into this blob while the Hellforged Bellowers continues to shoot. But it itself has taken quite a bit of damage, being shot by a bunch of javelins, and Valkyr jumps in to try and finish it off. A massive final transmutation hitting everything in the vicinity for on the Khorne army side here. Scarbrand got hit, a bunch of infantry got hit as well, but Karanak not quite... doesn't really quite care with 50% of spell resistance. And the Hellforged Bellower is slowly crumbling in terms of leadership, not exactly into the demonic instability leadership issue yet, just because it is a regiment of Rina and has extra leadership, but overall seems like the Warriors of Chaos having a pretty good start. Scarbrand is already extremely low, and the infantry of the Warriors of Chaos are just piling and tying down the Khorne infantry, which is kind of running thin, and a lot of their important assets have taken quite a bit of damage, though looks like the Hellstriders themselves are being broken down by the Minotaurs of Khorne, who are a very strong anti-large combatant. Though they themselves are taking a lot of javelins to the face as well. Got them. I feel like I have a tab open somewhere. Oh, yep, that's right. Let me just close that tab. Never mind. Yep, there we go. Scarbrand the Exile, though, just now is trying to back off away from javelins. Javelins, it has pretty good, decent weapon strength, especially not exactly primarily armor piercing, but very decent armor piercing value at 7 per shot. I think the Horse Masters have an even higher. Yeah, 8 armor piercing damage per shot. Oh no, the Rotting Riders have stayed in the melee fight for too long. They have overstayed their welcome. They are indeed weak to fire because of their regeneration trait, and they've been fighting some fire damage units for a long time. Bloodwake Berserkers here. Also, that cuts down their healing by half, and those Rotting Riders are being annihilated. Not really down to the last man. Oh, actually, no. One more hit. Yep, down to the last. Nope. Entire unit gone there. As they have overstayed their welcome among a bunch of Bloodwake Berserkers. One of the deadliest infantry in the entire game, if not the deadliest infantry. So yeah, Chaos Knights are still there. Right now, seems like there is indeed a summon unit of Fleshhound just pressuring away the enemy murder horses there, and there's not much that the Warriors of Chaos army has in place to just screen them off, because these Hellstriders are already busy dealing with another unit, and yeah, the Horse Masters, Horsemen are all trying to bail out of the situation there. These Chaos Knights definitely need to come over and screen off those Fleshhounds and allow those Javelins to stay back and do their own thing, and just keep chipping away the enemy units. Valkyr is still very much healthy though. Might actually consider going after Karanak. Oh, nope, never mind. She's got pinned by the Prayer of the Blood God, so she's not going anywhere for now. These Warhounds, they need to be dealt with somehow. Maybe perhaps send those Murder Horsemen over to charge them, while these Murder Horsemen, Horse Masters can turn around to charge them. Just use 2 units to sandwich 1 unit and pick it off. Although, unfortunately, these units here, seems like they got caught by Karanak, and then Scarbrand come over and followed up with a Rampage. The Rage Embodied is such a good control ability, forcing enemies to take engagements that they don't want to take. Although here comes another final transmutation, but it's on Karanak. Unfortunately, that might have been a mistake, because Scarbrand has only 35% spell resistance, while Karanak has 50, and that is not exactly going great for the final transmutation spell. A lot of that got mitigated by the spell resistance of Khorne. Now the Chaos Knights are charging in, but they struggle to do anything against the Blood Wake Berserkers. But the Blood Wake Berserkers can wreck them in melee for sure. Alright, where are the Warhounds? Did they went somewhere else? Anyways, yeah, these Chaos Knights just got wrecked in melee. That was quite unfortunate of them. Valkyrie at least managed to break off some Chaos Warhounds. These Murder Horsemen probably should have just taken the fight against the Chaos Warhounds. They should stop running and just charge them at some point, perhaps. Because right now they're just trying to flee, and the Warhounds are just taking free bites off of this horse unit. And yeah, it is down to the skirmishing cavalry whether they can carry the day for the Warriors of Chaos. But more and more of them are getting dragged into melee, overstaying their welcome, and just got cut down by Khorne. And are they on? Oh, they might be on fire at will, which might be a bit of a waste of ammo. Oh, and they do not have skirmish mode on. I feel like at this late game stage, you can probably afford turning on skirmish mode and just keep your units, making sure they are automatically running away from your opponents. Anyways, we are seeing quite a few slip-ups on the skirmishing cavalry. This might come in bite the Warriors of Chaos units hard in the end. But we shall see here. Valkyrie dives in, takes a good chunk off Skarbrand, but Skarbrand still having 1,000-something HP. Maybe he can survive this with units coming in to help. Oh, is that Relentless Reach? No, Wrathful Reaper boosting his damage output. And it's taking huge chunks off Valkyrie. That is some devastating damage. Are we seeing Rage Embodied? Relentless Rage. Yes, it has popped onto Skarbrand indeed, making him unkillable for now as long as the ability is active. And there's still a good 12 seconds, and he can still do quite a bit. Oh, another big hit onto Valkyrie. Yeah, he's doing a lot of good damage to Valkyrie, and then the Blood Wake Berserker is coming in to help, and absolutely slapping down Valkyrie the Bloody in melee combat. Well, Skarbrand has gone down due to the spell, the Relentless Rage wearing off, but at the same time, Valkyrie has been dragged into the surround of a bunch of Blood Wake Berserkers. She herself also being pinned down by Prey of the Blood God. That might be GG for Valkyrie. She's not getting out of there alive, although the Blood Wake Berserker is just walking around, not exactly trying to surround and beat her down. Weird stuff. Weird AI doing weird things. That's kind of expected with CA stuff. But yeah, Valkyrie goes down, and there's no way for the Marauder Horsemen to just win this fight against the Blood Wake Berserkers. The Blood Wake Berserker can solo everything left on the field. So the best bet for Khorne right now is actually trying to keep a hold onto this capture point and maybe try and drag this out into a ticket victory. But the problem is every time they throw something in, they try and delay the Blood Wake Berserker, they're losing that unit for sure, because nothing can win. Nothing they have can win against the Blood Wake Berserker. And then with the infantry occupying the capture point, yeah, that is going to be GG. That is going to be the end, as the Warriors of Chaos there completely runs out of resources at this point. The best bet they can do is probably trying to Searing Doom down the Blood Wake Berserker, but even then, it's going to be extremely rough. Yeah, unfortunately, we saw quite a bit of slip up on the Marauder Horsemen cavalry there. They had a lot of damage potential there, but quite a few of them got caught in melee, quite unfortunately. And the Rotting Riders there did a lot of damage. So that Sorcerer tried very hard. Yeah, he certainly did. But I think he should have dropped that final transmutation on Skarbrand instead of dropping it on Karanak, because unlike Skarbrand, Karanak doesn't have the ability to rampage regular units and control the battlefield. Yes, he has the Prey of the Blood God to pin down a Lord, but your Lord is either a Sorcerer of Metal, which is on horseback and can run away, or it's Valkyrie, which, well, Skarbrand can't fly. So, yeah. It could have done... Yeah, it could have targeted better with the final transmutation, I think. Always just prioritize Skarbrand, I guess. And I feel like this is one of the scenarios where skirmish mode, since you have a lot of stuff to micro, skirmish mode might be justified. Of course, it's better to manually control stuff usually, since they're more responsive and will take the more optimal routes. But when you have like 12 different 13 different high mobility units to control. Maybe you want something that can automate some of the process for you and make it easier. But yeah, just my 2 cents. But yeah, I really struggle to see how the Warriors of Chaos can take down the Bloodwake Berserker in the end. They don't really have the tools to do so. They don't have any elite infantry killing tools. Yes, there are javelins, but they were out of ammo, or almost out of ammo, and a lot of them also got caught and killed in melee and whatnot. And yeah, I mean, Bloodwake Berserker is just a hard unit to kill, but overall, very good damage from the Minotools. You're killing a bunch of cavalry there. But Bloodwake Berserker carrying the day, and Skarbrand also just rampaging stuff and preventing the Warriors of Chaos from retreating their cavalry cleanly, and that means allowing like the Minos, Bloodwake Berserker, and other melee units to just pile in and do a bit more damage before Warriors of Chaos are able to retreat their troops. Very nicely played from both players there. Next up we have oh, these are our, oh wait, hold on. Lizardman, yeah, okay. That is my game, yeah. Okay, Lizardman, 2 Lizardman games. Curio with Krogar, and a Skink Priest of Beast here with 3 Javelin Skinks, 2 regular Skink cohort of Sotek, the Unbreakable Red Crested, 2 Code 1 Riders, 4 Code 1 Spear Riders, 1 Bastillodon, and 1 Solar Engine. On the other side for the High Elves, VM Flower once again going with Tactless, supported by a Metal Mage. Give me a second. A front line of White Lions of Trace we have talked about last week or the week before. We have talked about how they're very cost efficient against Lizardmen, having that armor to mitigate damage from Saurus and still cut through Saurus with their armor piercing, or they simply just tank and grind through Skinks, and still having enough damage to deal with dinos. At the back there, Lofen Seagod flanking some Talons of Torquelada and regular archers. A lot of archers actually, combined with the Plague of Rust on the Mage of Metal, they can kill off dinos quickly. Minus 60 armor from the Plague of Rust overcast version, and a lot of sheer volume of arrows will build up, will basically burst down any dino. Yeah, other than that, some Ilarian Reavers, Loven Seagard, and more Ilarian Reavers, but they are archers. Tactless himself, going with a net of Amantok, pin down the dino, and then just shower everything in arrows and Plague of Rust. That is a really cool combo there. Or you can just net something down and just burn it with Bound Fiery Convocation. Both works, but with how cheap the infantry are on the Lizardman side, it's not worth it. Yeah. And the Skink Priest, what spell does the Skink Priest have? Flock of Doom and Flock of Doom only. Very standard stuff. Already here comes the Hand of the Gods, doing some really nice damage to the Talons of Torquelada. There's not a lot of good target for the Hand of the Gods anyways. Tactless is super small. A tiny target might miss, might waste some damage, might as well use it on infantry and kill off those archers faster. But I do struggle to see how the Lizardmen can get to the archer line outside of just trying to stay away and blast them with Solar Engine. But even then, the Solar Engine isn't the most accurate thing ever. A little bit of Fiery Convocation, it won't hit this skin cord, but can it hit the skin cord behind? We shall see. It is an extremely long spell. Yes, it did, but only barely singes the skin cord. Unfortunate there. Not doing much damage with that bound cast. Not that there's a lot of good targets on the field anyway, so might as well. But yeah, archers are holding back now, just showering the Skinks with their archer line fire. And the Skinks, they're like, oh no, what should we do? They can't break through the White Lions. And the mobility are just hanging back right now, not doing anything, which I am a bit concerned. They need to just get into these archers because they can't trade. The Lizardmen can't trade against the High Elves here in the front line. They're just gonna get showered with arrows, and whatever Skinks charging into the White Lions will just break apart on this tough line of armor and elite melee stats. Yeah, archers are showering the Skinks with archer fire, and Skinks are trying to throw some javelins into White Lions. Oh no, that is a bad idea. White Lions have 90 armor and missile resistance of 30%, so a lot of that non-armor piercing fire has been mitigated. even the armor-piercing value got mitigated by the missile resistance. So, yeah, the Cohen Spears are trying to get to the back line, trying to flank around, but they're not trying to go through the gaps in the formation. Charging straight into Loven Seaguard, that is a recipe for disaster. Charging into braced spears. And on top of that, there are some Elaran Reavers counter-charging it. A little bit of Flock of Doom at least is in progress to drain down the Elaran Reavers, but yeah, it is not making the difference fast enough here. And the Loven Seaguard are just pulling out their spears and just trying to fight in melee, while the archers are dishing out all the damage. White Lions have successfully won those frontline engagements easily. Bastillodon crashing into the back line, but there's only one Bastillodon and so many more archers available on the field. Oh, there are some cold ones on the field. Okay, they're charging into the Elaran Reavers, but that is not helping the fact that these Koan Spear Riders are losing the battle, not because they're inferior melee combatants, but because they're absolutely getting pin-cushioned by all kinds of archers left, right, and center. And yeah, Koan Riders might be able to flank around and get to the back line here, but yeah, the White Lions are, some of them are able to come back, return, and reinforce, which might be a bit of an issue for those Koan Riders to take down in melee. And the archers are, a lot of them have been secured in the back line. Some skins are pushing in, but there are just so many archers on the field, it's probably not going to be enough to make a difference. And yeah, overall, all these Lizardmen front lines are breaking off. The cavalry has been broken by spears, by archers, by some White Lions returning as well. There's still more, Koan Spear Riders nearby. But yeah, I think that might just gonna be GG. Both sides are trading Flock of Dooms right now, by the way. Since both sides do have Flock of Dooms. And yeah, more Varia Convocation. A little bit late for the Skink retreat. Still managed to do some friendly fire to the archers, but yeah. We can probably fast forward here, as it is pretty much just the Bastillodon remain, and yeah. I might jump back in just to see what happened to the Cold One Spear Riders early on this flank. Just died so fast. But yeah, it is just down to the two Bastillodon, but it is just a matter of Plague of Rust and Archer Fire. And even if they don't have the missile needed to take down the Bastillodon, the White Lions can probably finish the job. Krogar is still very much healthy though, so that might be a bit of a problem. They don't have a dedicated duelist to take on a single entity lords here, but White Lions are piling in, surrounding those Bastillodon and Krogar, while the archers continue to retreat and just trying to chip away the enemy health. These archers probably should have just fired at the Bastillodon or at the Court of Sotek. That might have been nice. Oh, actually, there are some resurgence of tattered but still fighting Koan Riders, trying to run down the enemy archers, but White Lions are nearby to provide the support. And White Lions over here are just surrounding Krogar, grinding him down with a... Ooh, actually. The archers are running low on health and ammo. Well, there's still... oh, never mind. The Bastillodon used up its last of its ammo. The solar engine is done. But yeah, Tackless might just try to go in and finish off the Skink Priest. Nope, never mind. Krogar is coming back, so there's no point. Archers are still firing. Pressured off those Koan Spear Riders with their Archer Fire. And the White Lions are struggling to take down the Feral Bastillodon. I guess it's because of that immune to flanking. Just making the surround a lot less effective. The attacks from the side and the rear just not doing much damage, and Mage of Metal getting bullied by Krogar. Oh, sorry. Let's fast forward a bit here, as the archers are just standing back and trying to fire. They need some kind of Flake of Rust onto the Rev Crystal, perhaps. Oh, actually a net on Krogar, and then point blank Archer Fire. But even still, quite a bit of misses. Oh no! The Archmage going in to challenge Krogar in melee. Ew, that is a very bold attempt from the mage, but that is not, that doesn't mean she's gonna make it work. She's getting mulched by that Koan. She's just getting snatched and thrown around. Is it gonna happen again? It's just another strike from Krogar. Is she gonna get snatched on the head? Nope, never mind. Either way, she's not gonna be long for this world if targeted by Krogar. But ooh, it looks like the White Lions managed to get onto this final bastion of Lizardmen troops. There is not a lot of infantry remaining on the field for Lizardmen, so there's nothing to protect the Skink Priest from Tackless Cycle charging him. Other than Krogar coming back, I guess, but Krogar himself is getting quite tattered, being shot by a bunch of arrows. Man, we can fast forward here. It's going to be a bit of grind, but I think Lizardmen might have this solely from capturing the point. either way, it seems like that is going to be GG with the Lizardmen taking the win. Probably from the... Yeah, probably from the victory tickets. I'm a bit surprised here. Because if given a bit more time, the High Elves probably could have won this one. Oh, actually, no. They struggled to take down the Feral Bastillodon. I didn't see a lot of Plague of Rust onto the Bastillodon. That's probably the issue here. Mostly prioritizing taking down the cavalry, but then they didn't quite have the resources to take down the Feral Bastillodon there. And yeah, the Bastillodon just hold on to that balance of power with two rather healthy single entities, and just kind of trampled the archers and the lightly armored troops of the High Elves, and even the armored ones, the White Lions, just for some reason didn't trade well into the Feral Bastillodon, probably because they have anti-infantry bonus, I guess. But yeah, GG to both players, I guess. But yeah, definitely not a lot of work done by the Elarian Reaver archers due to their lack of AP, and they were trying to fight Koan riders in melee. So yeah, that did not end well for them. Archers did okay. Lovensiga did okay. I don't see the point of Talents of Torquelada. You could have just brought a regular archer since you don't have any fire synergy, I guess. And save the funds for something else. I don't know. Yeah. Overall, GG. Interesting combo with the Plague of Rust plus Net of Emmentalk plus Archer build, but yeah. They just didn't have enough of the armor-piercing threat against to deal with the two Bastillodon. As I said before, I'm just gonna hop back in and see what happened on the one of the flanks with the Koan riders dying so fast. But yeah, I'm a bit disappointed to see all the Flock of Dooms and Net of Emmentalk, which means there's not a lot of magic remaining for Plague of Rust against the Bastillodons. And that, in the end, turned into what caused the defeat of the High Elves. Okay, let me just fast forward. Because we need to see stuff on this flank here. Wait. The Elarian Reaver archers are teasing the Lizardmen a bit there. While the front line of the Skinks are absolutely getting showered, pin cushion by all kinds of archers. Alright, yeah, a little bit slow with the retreat, but still managed to get most of the Elarian Reaver archers out there. And then the Koan Spear Riders came in. Searing Doom, okay. Searing Doom. Wait, Searing. Oh, they got Searing Doom. That's a lot of spells on two casters. 4 spells on 2 casters, that's quite a bit of gold. And, oh yeah, okay. So Elarian Reaver charge in, getting shot by archers, and then Searing Doom just took a lot of damage. I almost feel like you didn't need Tackless there. You probably would have better off with Tyrion. Probably more expensive though. Because you already have Mage of Metal with Searing Doom and Fine Witch and Plague of Rust, 2 very useful spells you can just keep spamming onto the Lizardmen, onto their cavalry, infantry, or even monster with the Plague of Rust. Yeah, the Searing Doom is just really good spell, killing off blobs of enemy, regardless of infantry or cavalry, armored or not. But yeah, they just didn't have anything to take down the Bastillodon after spamming all those magic onto Net of Emmentalk, onto Flock of Dooms. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like there could have been a better utilization of the spell kit, but yeah. I mean, as in the spell kit could have been a bit more optimized. That would have been a bit more useful. But anyways, next up, Lizardmen versus Demons of Chaos, Curio versus Buena Roja. Once again, we're seeing Krogar on the field with 5 Javelin Skinks, 2 regular Skinks. Once again, Court of Sotek, 2 Spear Riders, Koan Spear Riders. The Colossadon Hunters Regiment of Renowned Projectile Riders, the Power Fists, Sacred Croxagores, the Boxagores, Salamander Hunting Pack, and once again another Solar Beam Laser, the Solar Engine. There's also a Skink Priest of Beast, and what else? Skink Priest of Beast, of course, coming in with Flock of Doom and Flock of Doom only. Still very good spell against Demons of Chaos to bypass their physical resistance. Krogar coming with Hand of the Gods, and just Hand of the Gods actually, and Cold Blooded. That's a bound ability, so you can't take that off to save money. Anyways, for the Demons of Chaos, Nurglings in front line, one of them the Frolickers, Bubonic, Seekers of Slanesh. Oh, we have an Exalted Keeper of Slanesh here, combined with a Karanak, who did not bring Prayer of the Blood God, because I did specifically ban Prayer of the Blood God on the Demons of Chaos rosters. They already have Pavane, they already have possible stuff like Narcissism, Phantasmagoria, they have a lot of control abilities. They have Gaze of Fate. Like, they have enough control abilities. They don't need that from Karanak. Unlike Khorne, who actually need that from Karanak. But yeah, either ways, yeah, they don't have Prey of the Blood God, but still, being a really nice piece to silence enemy. Oh, unfortunate cast of the Hand of the Gods there, just hitting the slope instead of the actual target due to the firing arc. Either way, Heart Seekers are charging into Koan Spear Riders, both trading a lot of damage, and seems like the Heart Seekers are on the on the winning side here. The Koan Spear Riders, a lot of their damage are mitigated by the physical resistance, and they're just not as elite as the Heart Seekers. Furies are flying in, more Seekers are at the back, and yeah, a lot of Furies in the skies actually. They're all Khorne Furies, so extra damage with the Frenzy. Now the Javelins are trying to dish out some damage against the Seekers to whittle them down with the Javelins, but the Furies are in. The Furies are in to tie them down, just disrupt them, as the Seekers Heart Seekers finish off the Koan Spear Riders with the help of the Exalted Keepers of Secret. And on the other side, all these skinks are basically unactivated. All the pressure are on this right flank of the Lizardmen army here. Oh, the Sacred Boxagors are out of position, trying to pressure off these Heartseekers, but that exposes them to a rear charge from the Heartseekers there. They themselves taking a ton of damage in the process. Really nicely played by Buena Roja, catching the enemy off guard. Once again, Koan Spear Riders trying to go for a head-on charge against Heartseekers, and they realize they're on the losing side of things here. The Colossal Hunters are kind of left idle, and the Salamander Hunting Pack are unable to fire. Nothing is really in their line of sight, and they're now dragged into melee by the Seekers, who have been held in reserve, mostly just ignoring the left side of the Lizardmen formation, trying to focus everything onto the right flank and break through, while the Nurglings are distracting the Skink Cohort front line there. And yeah, I think that is probably gonna be a resounding win for the Demons of Chaos there. All the Seekers are now free to deliver rear charges into the Skink Cohorts, which, well, they're just skinks. They're not going to hold forever. And the Salamander Hunting Pack has also been taken down. There's only the Colossal and the Hunters still fighting in the mix, but yeah, they have to take down so many things. Well, Krogar himself is getting tied down by not only Heartseekers but also Karanak biting onto him. So he's under a lot of pressure, especially the armor piercing from the Heartseekers, and now he is down. He was also being hit by the Wounded Prey, reducing his melee defense for a bit there. Bastiladon with Solar Engine is still firing, but he is now under the threat of the Exalted Keeper of Secrets of Shadow Magic. Oh, okay. Not that it matters. I think at this point, the Seekers have basically taken control of the battlefield, wiped out the enemy mobility, and now just free to roam and pick off the enemy routed and separated troops. And also Karanak just keep pressuring and chasing off Krogar. That is the end of the Lizardmen leader, and that is going to be army losses. Very well played from Buena Roja with his Demons of Chaos army there. And yeah, getting some really solid engagements with the Heartseekers. Outright winning against the Koan Spear Riders, and considering how elite these Heartseekers are, that's not too surprising. And just taking the wins on one flank and just keep pressuring, keep that pressure rolling on one flank, and in the end just overwhelm the Lizardmen by breaking through on one side, while the Lizardmen didn't quite have the resources to hold the flank there, especially having certain units out of position, and they were unable to earn back their worth as they got dragged into melee and picked off by the Heartseekers and Seekers. So yeah, GG to Buena Roja here, a very solid win with the mobility, especially the armor piercing ones. All these Seekers and the Heartseekers got some really solid value overall. And of course the Exalted Keeper of Secrets as well. Alright, next up we have... Okay, I think we've seen this one before, so we can delete that. Just game 2... Okay, Khorne versus... Wait, No, we've not seen this. Actually, let's check if we have anything overlapped. I don't think so. I hope we don't. Or is something else? Yeah, I think that's all. That's all good. All right, next up we have Khorne versus Greenskins. Khorne going for double skull cannons. One of them the Hellforge Bellowers, one of them the regular one. 2 great weapon Minos, 2 Corn Gores, 1 dual weapon Corn Marauders, Bloodwhite Berserker, Karanak, and Skull Ticker. On the other side for the Greenskins, as I said before, Archangel seems to have taken the liking with the Gorbat Ironclaw right now, in this tourney specifically, and an Orc Shaman of Orc Shaman of the Great Wa with only, here we go, to try to out melee Corn, front line of Goblins with Spears, Orc Boys mixed in together, some Morgoth's Mangy Marauders, Spider Rider Archers, and Goblin Wolf Rider Archers. Actually a lot of them on the field, even the Death Creepers regenerating Spider Rider Archers, ready to kite Corn out for a bit there. Gorbat Ironclaw, just on his boar, not really doing a whole lot here. We can probably fast forward, honestly, as we're seeing a lot of kiting action. The double skull cannon is trying to chip down the enemy cavalry, especially the more threatening armor-piercing Morgoth's Mangy Marauders. Though the Mangy Marauders aren't exactly firing things at where they should be, they probably should have conserved some ammo for the Bloodwhite Berserker to punch through their armor and whatnot. But yeah, right now, the skull cannon is trying to just shoot them up, and the archers are not exactly having the best time for the Greenskins here, not finding a lot of good targets to fire. Herald of Corn is... Oh, this is not Skull Ticker, just a Herald of Corn. It's trying to pressure off these skirmishes and is doing an excellent job wasting their ammo. Oh, these Mangy Marauders probably should have just stayed behind the slope there, away from the line of sight of the Skull Cannons, and wait for them to use up their ammo. Though Greenskin did manage to capture the victory point, so they can start getting some victory tickets trickling in. Anyways, Corn Gores continues to get chipped down by the enemy archer fire, and these skirmishers have wasted a lot of ammo on Herald of Corn and not doing a whole lot. Now anyways, the frontline engagement has started. Orc Boys fighting Corn Gores, fighting Minotaurs, and fighting Karanak. They are in for a rough time. At least the Giant is here to reinforce, I guess, and absolutely slapped the hell out of Karanak. Getting some pretty good damage done, but yeah, they need more units in to just provide that kind of a support and infantry support to the Giant here, because the Giant alone cannot hold on against so many great weapon Minos. They're just gonna cut the Giant up alive, while the skirmishers are still just hanging back, not doing a whole lot. But the melee cav are charging in. The Orc Boar Barbarians and Orc War Boys are charging into Corn Gores, into Minotaurs, and getting absolutely annihilated for picking the wrong units to fight, especially when the Bloodwhite Berserkers are in the vicinity. Oh, that is a rough one for the Greenskins right now. They're in for a rough fight, just not having a lot of good trades all over the place. Broken Tusk Mode is trying to surround the Herald of Corn here, but here comes the Minos with great weapons, with the giant axes and the chain hammers of the Bloodwhite Berserkers, and you can see these Broken Tusk Mode are just dropping quickly. Yeah, the Daka from the skirmish cav is coming in a little bit, trickling in a little too slow. They need to kill off the Minos, they need to kill off the double skull cannon, they need to kill off the Bloodwhite Berserkers, and there's just too much stuff for them to do right now, and they don't have the burst damage to do it. This is a bit rough, as the infantry and cavalry are being slowly grind down and out-traded by a combination of Bloodwhite Berserker and Minos, and Corn Gores are also still holding in the vicinity. The Giant is running low in health. A wire has been popped though, giving all these Greenskins a damage boost, but I don't know how much they can do right now, especially they are out of spell support. Karanak is right next to the poor Orc Shaman, and he's gonna keep chasing after the Orc Shaman. No, never mind. He's distracted by the goblins, but either ways, Orc Shaman was silenced for a bit there and was not able to cast spells. And in terms of melee presence, the Greenskins are definitely dwindling in terms of those. All their infantry are slowly getting grind through by the Bloodwhite Berserker, who is still pretty much full health, by the way. Took a tiny bit of damage, but not a single model loss, and just keep winning in fights like they always do. And yeah, Gorbat tries to come in and take down that Herald of Corn here, but Karanak is here to help, giving him a little bit of a taste of that wounded prey, reducing his melee defense. Goblins are coming in to help, but yeah, Gorbat is not having a good time whatsoever fighting both Herald of Corn, which is a pretty decent armor-piercing fighter with a Juggernaut mount, and on top of that, Karanak is just taking chunks off him. He is getting that melee attack boost from Here We Go and his own melee stat buffs. But yeah, I think he needs something like he needs the Crimson Killers here to win out in a melee fight like this. He needs those elite melee presence, but he doesn't have any right now. Yeah, he needs the Crimson Killers to just kill the Bloodwake Berserkers if anything. Because all the cavalry right now, the Bacon Cav, their stats are quite horrendous and does not win against the Bloodwake Berserkers, even if they get a charge. So yeah, that is gonna be the end here, as Karanak and the Herald of Khorne are almost managed to take down the Orc Shamans, and the rest of the Greenskin decided to go into army losses. Everything just starts running as they got attrition down by the Bloodwake Berserkers. It's just such a tough nut to crack for everyone. I wasn't aware of the 30% missile resistance on the white lines. That hurts. Yeah. That really freaking hurts. Like all the javelins just kind of got wasted on the white lines earlier, right? So yeah, that also is why I like to bring them sometimes, especially against dwarves, because they just tank missiles. They're really good at that. But yeah, for the Greenskins here, unfortunately they did not trade well into the Khorne infantry, especially when there's the Bloodwake Berserkers in the equation. And at least the giant did a lot of damage, slapped Karanak a bunch, and had a bunch of infantry support of the Orc boys here, and beat up some Minotaurs as well. But in the end, the Minotaurs and the single entities, but most important, actually the Bloodwake Berserker didn't actually did that much damage, mostly just holding up that balance of power. Most of the heavy lifting were done by the Minos, by some of these Skull Cannon whittling down the enemy skirmishers with their long-range fire, and Karanak plus the Herald of Khorne taking out the Shaman and Gorbat Ironclaw. GG to both players, but looks like the Khorne melee is still superior here, as the Greenskin Orc boys keeps getting taken down by fighting in the middle of a bunch of Bloodwake Berserker. GG. What next? We have Warriors of Chaos versus Kislev. Grimbat versus Pasha. Warriors of Chaos of Grimbat is going with 4 Marauders, 1 Warriors with Halberds, 3 Hellstriders, 3 Murder Horsemen, 2 Bio Trolls, and 2 Chaos Giant. That is an interesting pick here, actually. Because Kislevs have a lot of Archer, and you don't want to bring a Giant against Archers. They're not that armored, even if they're Chaos ones. Anyways, Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Shadows with Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma and Enfeebling Foe. Yeah, Hellstriders, throwing axes, Marauder Horsemen actually. So quite a bit of armor piercing, but there's not a lot of armor piercing to deal with. Not a lot of armor to deal with outside of the infantry. I guess the Frostworm counts, but either ways. For the Kislevites, the front line of Armored Kossars, very sturdy and cost-efficient pistol fire. And then behind them a bunch of Kislevite warriors and Streltsies, protected by the Kislevite warriors. Double Frostworm, a Patriarch for healing with the Solak's Lullaby, and a single Little Grom. The Little Grom might be oh, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt a lot for the Giants. If it starts shooting, nope, never mind. It's gonna kill Trolls actually. That also is gonna hurt. Like 2 models down straight from that shot, and those are not models you can heal because they're dead. You can't recover with those models. And yeah, 2 models down, no regeneration coming in whatsoever, and it's really hurting those Bio Trolls right now. Very unfortunate for the Warriors of Chaos. Wait, is that another shot? Yeah, another model down. 2 models down, no healing coming in whatsoever, because those are dead models. And it's just gonna keep shooting. Now to the next unit. Oof. 2 more models down, no healing as well. It's just a devastating artillery. Yeah, it sucks. And it just keeps shooting. At least that one missed, I guess, due to the slope. But yeah, Marauders are trying to charge into the enemy Armored Kossars, but Armored Kossars with their pistol fire and armor and like decent melee stats will hold the line. Maybe the Giant can bring something in to break them down, but Streltsies are firing, just chipping away its health. And the double Frostworm are definitely jumping in to delay the Marauders from advancing. And just buying more time for the Kossars to hold the line and the Streltsies to keep shooting. Battle Trolls have charged in, but they're still stuck on the Armored Kossar line. They probably should have just go around maybe probably they should have just went around and go after the Streltsies, and the throwing axes are not doing much. You're just getting shot at. Probably if I feel like against Kislev, you're better off just bringing the javelin ones even, since yeah, they have a slightly longer range and they're cheaper as well. But a hailstorm bombarding those poor Hell's Riders, and on top of the Streltsy shooting up the Battle Trolls, and the Frostworm here, the Frostworm of the Ice Witch here, just applying the terror to any of these Warriors of Chaos. Even breaking them even earlier. Is that a... no, that's a Blizzard. That's a Blizzard just freezing a bunch of poor Marauders to death, although that might do some friendly fire to the Armored Saws, but either ways. Yeah, things are not looking great for the Chaos Rush. A lot of their Marauders are breaking in the shield wall, in front of the shield wall of the Armored Saws, but finally the Chaos Giants have managed to broken off one unit of these Armored Saws, and the Marauders can now push through into the back line. Hell's Riders flooding in as well, trying to tie down the Streltsies with help of the Marauders, and also shut down on the little Grom. But yeah, not a whole lot of melee mobility on the Chaos Warrior side. Chaos Warriors themselves, the Halberd ones, are moving in, but yeah, more Kislev Warriors are coming in, and the Streltsies are no slouch in melee combat either. They are holding their own against the Marauders with their armor helping them a bit there as well. And Chaos Giants not trading great against the Frostworm with the Armored Claw support. These Marauders need to be activated to and give the Chaos Giant a hand. Battle Trolls are still duking it out, but they're fighting in the middle of a bunch of Halberds, the full arms Kislev Warriors. That's not great for them. Throwing axes are being pushed away by Kislev Warriors, but their armor-piercing fire is wasted quite a bit onto these lightly armored Kislev Warriors. They should be directing their fire onto the Frostworm. That would have been a better call, but ah well, you can only do so much about it there. Wait, where's the Chaos Sorcerer Lord? Oh, with Shadows, I guess he's been casting spells. Not a lot of visible effect right now. And the Frostworm are just kind of converging with each other, enjoying the Salax Lullaby healing, and trying to double team the poor Chaos Giant. Once again, the Hell's Riders found a gap in the backline defenses, decided to go in and surround the low Grom. While this rather tattered Chaos Giant decided to move into the backline. The Streltsies are holding, but they're up against Chaos Warriors now, who have armor piercing and are very solid combatants, and yeah, the Streltsies are not in a good time. Slowly, the Chaos Warriors, the Warriors of Chaos, are making some headway, slowly pushing into the enemy backline there. But alas, unfortunately, the double Frostworm is going to be a big problem for them to deal with. Okay, I guess the throwing axes are here. They have decided to stop running away, stop shooting any of the Kislev infantry, and are actually shooting at things that matters, like the Frostworm. Though the problem is that the Chaos Giant is running low on HP, and he can only hold on for so long. And when once he's down, there's not a lot of things to hold down the double Frostworm. At least the throwing axes are almost done with one of them, so that's the good news. But the Chaos Giant has broken off, and the Kislev Warriors are freed up to move on to the next target. Nope, never mind. The Chaos Warriors with Halberds are next up to just jump in and trying to tie down the enemy single entity. Even some of the Horsemen decided to just jump into melee here, just to keep that Frostworm in check. So wait, where's... Well, one of the Frostworm has routed, but it's trying to just stay away. Might want to just send some Hell's Riders over to chase it off, but alas, there's no Hell's Riders available. Warriors of Chaos, the Chaos Warriors are still holding. Oh wait, no, Chaos Giant. Oh, the second Chaos Giant is here. Giving a good slap on the Ice Witch of Tempest there, but yeah, it's taking a bit of a bite in the face himself. Ice Witch of Tempest is dropping low, but the Salax Lullaby is just barely, but still managed to keep it alive. That is quite unfortunate for the Kislevites due to that healing, protecting the Ice Witch. And more of the Horsemen earlier who got thrown into melee combat has been broken off. The Battle Trolls are still relatively okay. They still have some healing available, they're still regenerating, but what are they gonna do to take down the Ice Witch of Tempest? Is there still any Salax Lullaby left in the Patriarch? We shall see. Still one more, so there's more healing available for the double Frostworm. Balance of power is in favor of the Kislevites due to some healthier Kislev Warriors, their artillery, and also a very much full health Patriarch. But the Battle Trolls are definitely helping to equalize things a bit here. They themselves generating some health and also punching down the Armored Saws. Stomach Axes, reducing enemy leadership and speed. That's not bad. Yeah, throwing axes are coming in, trying to whittle down the rest of the HP on the Ice Witch, but a nice hailstorm just persuading them to back off for now. Ooh, another Frostworm jumping in. If they can land a hit onto the Murder Horsemen, that would be huge. Frostbiting them, and now they're slow enough for those Frostworm to catch up and just keep sticking to them and just keep cutting them, eating them up. And yeah, that terrified the Murder Horsemen and forced them to back off instead of doing more damage with the throwing axes. And yeah, suddenly things are looking very, very much against the Warriors of Chaos. They're out of ammo on, well, almost all of their Murder Horsemen. The only one that remains with any ammo is... Oh, yep, never mind. The Frostworm just eaten that poor Chaos Sorcerer Lord alive. And yeah, there's no more leadership for the Warriors of Chaos. And that is the end as the army just collapses due to the lack of leader, lack of Lord. Very nicely played from both players once again. But yeah, the double Frostworm with all the healing is a very strong combo here. A lot of HP for the enemies to eat through, while the Warriors of Chaos unfortunately just... Throwing Axes definitely did their share in this battle, for sure. They did some pretty solid work. But unfortunately, not a whole lot of good solutions for them against the Kislev front line. Having a lot of units stuck on it for a significantly long time. Even the Chaos Giants didn't quite manage to break through them in time. I feel like almost some of the mobility units of Trolls, the Giants, should just ignore the Armored Kossars and just walk onto the Streltsies and slap them down before they do too much damage, and also just tie down the Lilgrom. Because you're not going to kill off the Armored Kossars fast anyways. Even if you did a bunch of damage and shock them into low leadership, they will still have Fire Blood to keep them in the fight for at least 20 seconds. So, unfortunately, the Kislevites managed to hold on against the rush of the Warriors of Chaos and drag the game out long enough, and Saulak's Lullaby just keep those Frostworm healthy for a long time, or at least just prevent them from dying for a long time, applying those terror to all these Warriors of Chaos troops, breaking them apart. And yeah, there's still some juice left for the Bio Trolls to give, but yeah, the Chaos Giants fighting in the middle of a bunch of Kislevite warriors getting shot at is not great for them, and also there's some anti-large Frostworm in their face, taking chunks of their flesh off. Next up, Lizardmen versus Kislev. Lizardman Kuriel once again going with a lot of Javelin Skinks, 4 Koan Riders, Spear Riders actually, Kroxagor with their Paddle, Salamander Hunting Pack, Bastillodon with Solar Engine, Skink Priest, Coat of Sotak, and Krogar. I assume it's gonna be Flock of Doom from the Skink Priest once again. Let's slow down things a bit. Yep, Flock of Doom and Flock of Doom only. For the Kislevite army here, let's go back to normal speed, front line of Armored Kossars, flanked by Kislevite warriors, backed up by 2 Streltsies. Seems like it's been the same formula for for Pasha so far. Ice Witch on the Frostworm, no second Frostworm this time, because they did spend more money on the missiles. Wolfheart's a regiment of renowned Akshina ambushers with the Pack Trap, a bunch of Horse Archers on the side, and Koslevite Dervishes providing some mobility and mass. Yeah, for the spell kit though, Ice Witch is coming in with Blizzard and Blizzard only to kill off enemy infantry. We shall fast forward a bit here, as the Bastillodon Solar Engine is blasting off a few models here and there on the Horse Archers, doing some counter fire there. And once again, Krogar using his Hand of the Gods in a kind of a artillery way, blasting off chunks of hell from these Streltsies here. The Hand of the Gods costs like 200 gold, yeah, and Krogar already earned back his worth with the item usage in only one cast. Anything else is just extra to recover more gold, I suppose, at this point. But yeah, Armored Kossars are whacking up, and they should be able to hold on just fine against the Javelins. They have armor, they have shields, silver shields, by the way, 55% of missile block chance. So half of that damage from the Skink Javelins is gone from the shield blocking, and then more is being mitigated by the armor. So the pistols are holding on just fine, just blasting the hell out of these poor Skinks. And then Streltsies are firing into the Kroxagors. This forces a lot of damage onto the poor Court of Sotak there. Absolutely getting showered and arrowed by the Akshina ambushers and pistols. Yeah, the Court of Sotak are trying to get into melee. They might want to turn on their refusing to die thing, because right now they're losing quite a few models. Already 1/3 of their unit gone. Javelins continues to chuck javelins, but these are wiser. They're throwing them into the Kislevite warriors, which is not a bad goal. But yeah, Khorne Spear Riders are just holding on the flanks, trying to wait to screen off the enemy mobility, but they're probably more in need of doing some rear charge onto enemy units. Oh no! The Streltsies and Akshina and Bushers are absolutely murdering these poor Croxies. And Krogar decided to go and try and snipe out the Ice Witch of Tempest there. Blizzard, they're doing a lot of skin core, damage to skin core though. That was quite unfortunate. A really beautiful spell cast, breaking down this one unit and allowing the Armored Corsairs to perhaps push for these Umbro Tide Regiment of Renown Salamander Hunting Pack, who are now targeting the Ice Witch of Tempest here, trying to blast down this leadership of the Kislevites. So yes, Snow Leopard has been summoned to go after the Salamander Hunting Pack and disrupt them, while the Bastillodon and Khorne Spear Riders are still holding in the back line there. Not doing a whole lot. Again, I feel like they should be more actively engaging in the combat, like going after the Streltsies, disrupting the enemy backline there. Because right now they're just sitting around doing nothing, and it's a big waste of 1,000 gold cavalry. That's like 1/12 of your army not being idle right now, and that's not great. Yeah. While over here, the horse archers, even if they're not engaging, they're still just shooting arrows and doing poke damage here and there and applying that leadership debuff. So yeah. And anyways, the Dervishes have pushed through the front line. Their Skinks didn't really quite hold against the Armored Corsairs and the Ice Witch with Frostworm. So they managed to get through and now push back the Umbral Tide. Here comes some Khorne Spear Riders, and the Croxagores are trying to hold them down for the Spear Riders to get a real charge in. And they should get some good damage in, but yeah, a big loss for Lizardmen losing out on that damage dealing unit. And in terms of the front line, well, the Skinks aren't winning against these Armored Corsairs and Kislev warriors anytime soon. They're probably losing, if anything. They're simply out-traded in every aspect on the stat line there, so that was quite unfortunate of them. What else remaining for the Lizardmen? Not much. Some tattered Khorne Spear Riders are trying to charge in and surround the Ice Witch of Tempest there, but yeah, overall the front line is breaking apart for the Lizardmen there. The Croxagores, Umbro Tide, and a lot of their units are just getting showered in arrows and pistol fire and Streltsy fire as well. So unfortunately, they didn't quite get their damage done. And yeah, especially like the Khorne Spear Rider sitting at the back there was not great. They have been idle for too long in the battle. For 1-2 minutes, they didn't do anything and just allowed their troops to get murdered. That was not great. And yeah, now that they're fighting actively, but they're now surrounded by Kislev warriors, and they might actually getting recharged by a bunch of horse archers if they want to. But either way, Krogar is still alive. He's surrounded though in a bunch of pole arms. And here comes a anti-large Ice Witch Tempest trying to take a bite off Krogar as well. And yeah, you can see Krogar being surrounded by anti-large combatants. It's just not having a good time whatsoever. Some Skinks came back. But yeah, these Umbral Tide are not long for this world. Just gonna get charged and pushed off by the Kislev Dervishes and the Wolfheart's fire. And Krogar is just gonna collapse in leadership, so is the rest of the Lizardmen army. Army loss is hit, and that shall be victory for the Kislevites. Yeah, the Skin Cohorts unfortunately just can't really break through the Armored Corsairs, and not even the Kislevite warriors actually. And some of the Khorne Spear Riders probably could have used a bit more active pushing on their side. Like they could have tried pushing into the Streltsies there, try to drag them into melee, try to ignore the horse archers and flank around, rear charge the enemy Corsairs and whatnot, but unfortunately didn't quite manage to do any of that, and just kind of sitting idle for a little too long, and as a result they didn't quite earn back their value. Even if they charged in, I think they got stuck in a bunch of anti-large combatants, so that was not great for them as well. Flock of Dooms did a lot of damage over time. There's a lot of infantry to drain, but yeah. The Streltsies and the Akshina ambushers did a lot of damage, mostly them carrying the game, and also the terror from the Ice Witch of Tempest, and also anti-large damage mostly. And also we saw some really well-placed Blizzard obliterating the enemy Skin Cohorts, which freed up, which opened up the gaps in the front line, allowing stuff like Dervishes to get through and get to the Umbral Tide, which limits their damage output. Yeah. Nicely played from both players, and then we're moving on to the next one as well. What else? We've seen that one. We played that one ourselves. Warriors of Chaos versus Lizardmen. Oh, this is where the throwing axes Marauder Horsemen would come in quite handy. Now for the army builds here, Warriors of Chaos going with 4 units of Marauders, 1 Warriors with Halberds, regular ones, and then 1 Corn Warriors with Halberds, and then 2 units of Hell's Riders, 1 Knights of the Brazen Throne Rotting Riders, 2 Throwing Axes Marauder Horsemen, and 1 more Chaos Sorcerer Lord of something. I can't see the Lord of Magic here. Choreo, similar build. Salamander Hunting Pack, 2 Bastiladon with Solar Engine. Oh wait, actually, Sorcerer Lord, what spell are you using? He's on the Dragon. Final Transmutation and Searing Doom, interesting. Final Transmutation definitely good against Lizardmen who doesn't bring healing. And this is one of the cases here, where we have Kugar leading the army with, once again, the Hand of the Gods. Secret Spawning of Zotl for a little bit of physical resistance and vigor refresh. A front line of Skink Horde with Javies, 1 Salamander Hunting Pack, some red crested skinks, providing a solid offensive infantry line to drag down enemy armored infantry perhaps. Corn Spear Riders providing the anti-large armor piercing and mass, double solar engine, and a skink priest of beast here. Once again coming in with those flock of dooms. Solar Engine probably is just going to stand back and keep blasting, so Chaos Warriors will have to push up. Good news for Chaos Warriors though, the Warriors of Chaos though, the Marauder Horsemen here are not in a lot of threats. Okay, maybe the Salamander Hunting Pack can counterfire them, okay. Yeah. But there's not a lot of things that can chase them down, so they can just move in and maybe just keep shooting at the Cohen Spear Riders and kiting them back. And then there's also the Metal Mage breath attacks, ready to blast down some infantry or cavalry, should they choose to. A Red Crested Skink would be a good unit, for example. But yeah, looks like the Knights of Brazen Throne are moving in. Oh, they're getting in the charge. If they can get the charge acceleration, they will plow straight through all these poor Skink Hordes. Absolutely obliterating a unit. Half a unit of these Skinks gone, and a nice breath attack onto the Red Crested as well. But the Chaos Sorcerer of Metal might need to back off soon though. He has armor but not a lot, only 70. And that's a lot of anti-arch damage coming in from the Salamander Hunting Pack. He needs to back off, he needs to fly around. Yeah. Knights of the Brazen Throne needs to get out of there, needs to let the Marauder screen out for them. Because these anti-large Cohen Spear Riders will trade well into the Knights of the Brazen Throne, who has spent their charge. Now a Searing Doom is coming in. Can they do more damage to the Cohen Spear Riders? No, unfortunately, they try to push through the enemy front line. So that means most of their models were out of this spell area. Hell's Riders now trying to charge the Bastiladon, but the Bastiladon have a lot of armor and they don't really care about surrounded by those non-armor piercing cavalry. Flock of them onto the Rotting Riders, but the Rotting Riders don't care, for they do have that regeneration, and they got a beautiful charge onto the Cohen Spear Riders and absolutely obliterating them in melee as well. Hell's Riders are routed, but the Rotting Riders will finish the job here, killing 1 Cohen Spear Riders, perhaps killing a second one if they get a cycle charge going. But yeah, overall seems like things are still quite even right now. The Court of Sotek turning on Refuse to Die, stabilizing the frontline situation, and the Salamander Hunting Packs are retreating into a safer position to resume firing. But Bastiladon are pretty much just sitting there blasting off these Marauder Horsemen. And it might be time for another breath attack. Yep, as I said. So yeah, as I just said it, another breath attack into the Cohen Spear Riders and Searing Doom. Oh, this is gonna be hurt a lot on these Cohen Spear Riders, blasting a quarter of their HP away. Rotting Riders will be retreating for a bit. They're being pressured by Court of Sotek and Kogar himself, but they're now stopped in the forest and will be duking out against each other. Salamander Hunting Packs though, despite them saying anti-large, because they have pretty decent explosive damage, they can do well into light armored infantry as well. So the Marauder infantry have been pushed back. Now the Knights of Brazen Throne are needed to shut them down, although they seem to decided to just charge a bunch of Skink Hordes first, just to penetrate that formation, and then they can move on to the Salamander Hunting Packs maybe. No, they still have their attacking order on the Skinks. Oh, never mind. Are they getting dragged? Nope, they're going after the Skinks. In the forest though, the Red Crested taking a lot of damage. Probably a third breath attack. No. Oh, throwing axes and getting charged by the rotting riders. That's probably why. But yeah, Krogar is overextending because those rest-crested skinks will be will be ganged up on by a bunch of units together and probably can't provide a lot of support. Halberds trading into Coat of Sotak is not great for them. Coat of Sotak with poison and armor piercing will do a lot of damage to these Chaos Warriors. And yeah, the anti-arch is mostly wasted on infantry. Murder Horsemen decided to charge into melee, trying to break the skinks. But they themselves have to be careful. They don't want to stay in melee for too long, as they are quite glass cannon. They're quite fragile and taking a lot of attrition damage in the melee fight here. Well, over here, the Red Crested has been terrified. So they might just get chased down by the Rotting Riders, but more Cohen Spear Riders are being thrown in here, trying to save the Skink Bros, but yeah, that's not going to happen. And the Cohen Spear Riders are being dealt with. Balance of power is in favor of the Lizardmen though. They have held on to their position quite well. The Lord is quite healthy, pushing off different skirmishing cavalry so far. And yeah, the expensive cavalry are just getting dragged down in fights of attrition. Surrounded by Red Crested, yeah, that is not great for the Knights of the Brazen Throne. They need to be constantly charging to utilize that charge impact. To utilize that charge impact boost. That adds charging mass, bonus, and speed, acceleration, all that to give them great impact on the charge against enemy infantry. But yeah, on the side, at least the Cord and Halberd Warriors managed to cut down the Bastillon with Solar Engine. But yeah, the Salamander Impact did a lot of work here, blasting infantry and cavalry alike. I think I need to rewatch them and see what the fuck did they do there to get 2,000 gold worth of damage value. We shall go back and see that later, but right now, Final Transmutation. Finally a Final Transmutation, no pun intended there, but yeah. Draining down the Skink Priest and maybe just trying to work down the Skink Lord. Oh, another blast from the Floor Engine, mostly missing though. And the Rotting Riders don't really care about that trickle in damage, they can just regenerate it back. But here comes Krogard, threatening to finish off these Rotting Riders, and a unit of Salamander Hunting Pack. Oh, they have managed to survive and retreat, and now resume firing and trying to take down the big-ass dragon on the far side. And also Searing Doom from the Chaos Sorcerer Lord, blasting out, thinning out some of these Red Crested. But overall, balance of power is in favor of the Lizardmen, as their firepower has proven to be quite useful throughout the game, whittling down enemy units. Yeah, I'm just gonna quickly jump back in onto this one and see what the hell happened to the Salamander Hunting Pack. What helped them do so much damage in the late game? But yeah. Oh, and almost forgot to talk about that, but the Bastillodon Solar Engine, one thing, other than doing damage long range, they also have really have the really cool blinded contact effect to reduce enemy melee stats and missile accuracy, which might explain which might explain why the missiles of the why the missiles and the melee troops of the Warriors of Chaos didn't exactly do too well. I mean, the Knights of the Brazen Throne definitely did some good damage here. But yeah, they first got charged, and then the throwing axes are just a little bit too far away to help anywhere that matters. Like, yeah, they probably should have gotten closer to throw. Well, yeah, to be fair, they're throwing axes at the Cohen Spear Riders, so there's that. But yeah, the Knights of the Brazen Throne already overstaying their welcome, and the Salamander Hunting Pack doing a lot of good damage to the Sorcerer Lord. Okay, keep fast forwarding here. One Cohen Spear Riders got absolutely annihilated in the fight. But yeah, the Solar Engine just kind of doubles down as like a melee monster, just to hold on to this flank and just keep pummeling enemy, headbutting enemy troops, I guess. Salamander Hunting Pack though, being kept alive very well. Just keep pulling back and turning around and fire at the Chaos Sorcerer of Metal, taking huge chunks of HP away from this expensive single entity. Oh, that's where most of their damage come from. Taking down half of their HP throughout the process. Oof, that hurts. Well, let's just keep fast forwarding now, as we want to go into the army performance screen. And yeah, they just keep blasting, thinning out the enemy infantry line. with the Salamander hunting packs. And yeah, the Knights of the Brazen Throne is unfortunately a bit fumbled. Like they just stayed in prolonged melee for too long, surrounded by armor-piercing red crested. Like they might be anti-infantry, but their main value is really just the charge. The increase in mass charge bonus, charge impact, the charge speed really helps them just maximizing that impact damage, maximizing that collision damage against anything if they enter that charge mode. But yeah, they just kind of stayed in melee for too long, not really utilizing that charging buff, and has been mostly wasted. But yeah, oh, Rotting Riders getting hit by those blinded effects, having their stats reduced occasionally was not great for them as well. Oh, never mind, that did not hit, but yeah. Let's just fast forward here. As the last of the Chaos troops are being finished off, especially that Lord being blasted by anti-launch fire. Alright, that is gonna be GG for this one. Very well played with the Salamander hunting pack, very well protected from the enemy mobility, although I would say Greenback probably could have use those mobility a bit more actively to try and get to the Salamander hunting pack. Not a lot of value from the Knights of the Brazen Throne. Decent work from the Rotting Riders. But other than that, not so much for the rest of the army here. Marauder Horsemen getting blasted by solar engines and being pressured off by Salamander hunting pack, Javelins, and Code 1 Riders. Good attempts with the breath attacks though, thinning out a lot of the enemy skink infantry, but yeah, overall seems like the Salamander hunting pack got the better of the engagements here, and these Code of Sotek get dragged down a ton of enemy troops, trading well into the enemy Chaos Warriors, and then yeah, getting some good value overall. The Bastillodon Solar Engine didn't do much. Their value doesn't really come from their long range damage. Their accuracy is a bit off and doesn't do a lot of explosion damage, but the blinded effect I feel like is the most valuable thing of the entire monster. Just significantly neutering the enemy melee and range performance. That comes in really handy in a lot of engagements. Alright, final save that we received. Flower versus Archangel, Greenskins versus High Elves. Archangel going with Greenskins, no longer using Gorbat this time. Instead we are seeing the Ragnarok Spider Flinger. That is going to be an interesting pick. I think it reduces enemy ammo, right? Wait, no, that's a Nurgle Plague Mortar. Yeah, that's the. Hold on. What does it do again with the contact effect? I've kind of forgot. Hold on. Yeah, Flinger. It reduces Vigor. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It can be quite useful, especially the. I think it can do quite a bit of damage to enemy dense formations. Anyways, for the front line is Goblin Spears and Orc Boys with Spears and regular Goblins too. Oh, actually no, Orc Boys Spears, Goblin Spears, and regular Goblins. Yeah, and then a line of Goblin Archers. One of them, the Rusty Airs, maybe. Nope. I don't see any Rusty Airs. Just a lot of Goblin Daka, and the cheapest form of Daka as well. Moon Howlers for their fear-causing trait. Not sure what. I don't think Moon Howlers is good into. Yeah, I don't think Moon Howlers are great into the High Elves. I guess it helps breaking enemy archer line, but you have to contest with a lot of elite cavalry, so that might not be the best choice in my opinion. First, Goblin Spider Riders, and there's a single Nat Goblin War Boss ready for rampage stuff with Fermented Fungi and lock things down in Tormentor's Sword. There's also more rocks in the form of the Big Gun here, chugging some explosions, rock explosions onto the High Elf side, who is taking. Oh, that is a brutal shot onto the Fireborn, taking out 5 models of them, and those healing are not coming in handy at all, because those are dead models that you can't heal. So yeah, Apotheosis mostly wasted on that artillery shot. A front line of Rangers, and oh, that's a lot of damage coming in from the artillery. A front line of Rangers, second line of Archers, flanked by white lines of Strays and more Rangers. But yeah, the Archers are already taking a lot of damage from the rock drops and a Flinger as well. There's also Eltharion the Grim leading the army. with his Mistwalker Barrage ability, Grim Discipline, and Apotheosis, just there for the healing. He's just a healing support right now. Dragon Princess on the flanks, ready to collapse onto the enemy side. Oh, and that would be a deadly collapse if the Greenskins cannot contain it. They don't have a lot of units to contest with an elite cavalry force like that. No armor-piercing anti-launch, other than the Ragnarok Flinger, who is too busy shooting at enemy archers. One of the archers has been dealt with. Probably thanks to... Wait, hold on. Probably thanks to the big gun shooting. Yep, more big gun rocks are coming in, smashing the formations of these poor archers here. But the problem is these Dragon Princes. At least there's a Fate of Buna from the Giant River Trollhag to counter the Fireborn, dropping their HP low. But of course, there's always Apotheosis ready to heal them up. And on top of that, a life mage with physical resistance with Flesh's Zone and free growth ready to go. Yeah, the Greenskins trying to hold the line with their chaff, but their chaff are being torn apart by the White Lions and Rangers. So the artillery has to come over and shift their attention over to help. Is that a regrowth coming in? Yes, indeed. Still having 54 models, not suffering much model losses with the Fate of Buna. They are not actually being that affected, and can counteract some of those direct damage with healing spells. Overall, the front line is still holding for now, but the goblins are not doing much. They are very cheap and ineffective archers, and unfortunately outranged by high elf archers and being outgunned. They are just gonna get shot and pushed back. Balance of power is still fairly even though, because of these big giant single entities monsters holding the line for the Greenskins. But now the Fireborn managed to surround the Flinger Ragnarok. Although Eltharion being trapped in this engagement against the Giant River Trollhag and the Night Goblin War Boss. Eltharion was in a bit of trouble earlier, even eating a bit of a Spirit Leaf, draining his health down. But overall, I feel like the High Elves have penetrated into the enemy backline there, compromising a lot of their missile assets, at least silencing their firepower for now. At least they can't keep shooting, right? But yeah, Eltharion, why are you going back in? Stop going into a melee fight with two single entities with decent melee power. Stay away, stay alive, keep healing yourself with Apotheosis. Anyways, the Dragon Princess seems to notice Eltharion is in a bit of a trouble, and they will be jumping into melee combat. Flinger Ragnarok has been dealt with by the Fireborn, and at least they have gotten some damage value. Not enough to earn back its own cost, but it's something, I guess. Not that they can, not that the Greenskins can do anything to bail them out and bring the spider back. At least the big one is still fighting and smashing infantry left, right, and center. It's gotten some pretty good value so far. Oh no! The Fireborn decided to give up on the chase against the Flinger Spider, deciding that the Night Goblin War Boss is probably a more valuable target. Oh, but the Tormentor Sword here, locking everything down. Though the Night Goblin War Boss still struggles to get out of there. Actually, he routed, so he might be able to like get out of life. Oh no! He's running into a horse model and just kind of slowed down a bit there. Giant River Trollhag, unfortunately, is still stuck there, and she's not gonna enjoy this fight against anti-lodge combatants with armor piercing and, more importantly, fire damage to exploit her fire weakness. If she has a second Fate of Buna, that might be a useful time to use it now. Big atomic slap from the big end here, trying to help out the Giant River Trollhag. At least the Tormentor Sword stopped the Fireborn from completing a surround against the Giant River Trollhag and nuke her down. But yeah, with the big in there, big slap onto Eltharion here. At least a bit of Apotheosis is sustaining his health, keeping him alive. The Fireborn now turning around, trying to go after the Giant River Trollhag and take her down. What has been popped, I haven't really paid attention to the rest of the battle here, because it is pretty much just Rangers cleaning up the enemy Orc boys and pressuring the archers away. At least there are some mobility forces from the Greenskins maybe to clean up the enemy. Isolated pockets of troops and bail out the routed ones. Bail out the routed Greenskins. But yeah, giving up the Ragnarok Spider might have been a decision that bites the Greenskins in the back here. As, oh no, Eltharion getting rampaged by the fermented fungi straight into the Ragnarok Spider here, and against an anti-lodge combatant, Eltharion being that weak in HP had no chance standing there. Yep, Eltharion went down, but these are high elves, so they will continue to fight on. leadership issues aren't as deadly to them than it is to the Greenskins. And on top of that, more healing is coming in from the life mage, who unfortunately suffered a bit of overcast damage from the overcast regrowth here. So yeah, it is down to the single entities and some goblin spears on the far side regrouped to hold on for the Greenskins, as these goblin archers are just getting cleaned up by some isolated pockets of separated pockets of dragon princes. But yeah, the Flinger definitely not enjoying this fight around dragon princes whatsoever, especially when Fireborn is in the equation. But yeah, these dragon princes also, especially being so healthy thanks to the regrowth, they are a lot of damage potential and a lot of tanking potential too. At least the big one is making some headway, smashing infantry left, right, and center. So we're gonna do a bit of more of fast forward here, as the dragon princes try to keep pushing on and manage to actually rout off the Ragnarok spider, though the big one is still there. And the high elves are gonna struggle to take it down. It is very heavily armored. It has missile resistance of 15%. The archers aren't gonna do much against them, and dragon princess is also gonna struggle to take them down. And the Night Goblin War Boss came back as well, so it's not over for the Greenskins, despite the balance of power saying otherwise. But yeah, Goblin Infantry, they got separated and finished off. Although, speaking of finish off, a big atomic slap, and the Mage of Life is down to 5 HP. Alive but barely. Now the big one doesn't really have time to just hang around and finish her off. He needs to pay attention to the rest of the High Elf army, and decided to go and slap some rangers instead. It would be funny if the life mages comes back with 5 HP remaining. But yeah, both sides actually forgot to capture the point. Funny enough. So yeah, now it is the High Elves might want to go and capture the point. Nope. They're just regrouping and just eating shots from the big end there. But either ways, army losses somehow hit, despite the big end standing quite a good chance to win. I think it's just that the value it's earning back with the damage of the rocks aren't matching the balance of power losses they got from the it's just not quite matching the balance of power losses they got from spamming the ammo. Oh, hello, we have a lot more viewers here. Welcome everyone. But at the same time, we are almost ending the stream today. That is going to be the last replay for the day, I think, unless there are more replays. No, I don't think there are any more replays that we received. So yeah, that is going to be the last replay of the day. If you just joined, feel free to check the archives and rewatch the stream with more action going on earlier, and especially more live gameplay, since we did have a Swiss format tourney these days, which means we have more games. And yeah, so yeah, this is that's it for today's replays. I'm just gonna go through the army performances here, and then that should be the end here. Man, the big one tried so hard to carry it with all the rock throws, slapping enemy infantry left, right, and center, even slapping Eltharion and the Mage of Life. But unfortunately, there's just nothing to contest with the High Elf mobility advantage. Like, I feel like if the Greenskins didn't bring the Flinger, instead just brought a bunch of the Flinger did a lot of damage actually, but I feel like the Greenskins, what they really needed was some Orc Boar Biggins to contest with the Dragon Princes, to at least like slow down their push, instead of them just running through all those Greenskin infantry with nothing really to stop them. All the light cavalry stood no chance in front of all these elite cavalry. And yeah, the Goblin Archers weren't exactly worth it here either. Just not doing a whole lot against all the enemy infantry and heavy cavalry. They don't have the armor piercing or the armor sundering to deal with enemy armor, while the frontline troops here, or boys with spears, I feel like almost they are like a trap. I'd rather just spend less gold on the front line, bring in a bunch of goblins, and save up those gold for maybe like another Orc Boar Biggins. That probably would have worked better. But yeah, Flinger and Rogue Idol, the big end there, did pretty well. It's just unfortunately there's a lot of HP for them to kill through due to the apotheosis from Eltharion and the regrowths from the Mage of Life. And yeah, GG to both players. I hope everyone enjoyed today's stream and today's tournament, whether you only watched the stream or if you participated in the tournament as well. And yeah, no matter where you are, I hope you all have a great week, and I'll see you all in the next one. I might be hosting another 20 for, not hosting, but casting another 20 for the RTK clan with their weekly newbie or advanced player Conquest Mode 20. But we shall see. I don't quite remember which one exactly is, but I'll need to check again. But yeah, that is going to be all for today. I hope you all enjoy today's tournament stream. And yeah, I think there's another King of the Hill event at Human Boys DSS channel later, right? So yeah, definitely everyone should go check it out as well. And yeah, that is going to be it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see everyone in the next one. Tactical Lich signing out.